before God, so we can rule from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's hands, so we can rule our purpose land. I wanna know who owns the land. Who wanna know who owns the land? Okay, now listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ABS Africa Broadcasting Television, coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely here in Houston as usual. Of course, we continue to ask the question, who owns the land? The Chinese are ruling China. Ukrainians want to own and rule Ukraine. The Russians own and rule Russia. The English own England and they rule England. And of course, the question is for Ambazonia and Ambazonians. We want to know who owns the land. Ambazonians want to own the land. They know the land is theirs. The territory is theirs. The country is theirs. The people are theirs. Why can't we then own the land? Ladies and gentlemen, it is a question that we will continue to ask for as long as we stay in this war for the actualization of the independence of the Southern Cameroon, the country we now call today Ambazonia. Good evening. Welcome again to ABS. Thank you for joining from Europe. Thank you for joining from Asia, from Singapore, from China, from the UAE, everywhere around the Middle East and what they call the Middle and the Far East. Thank you and welcome to ABS. Of course, not forgetting those of you tuning in from the continental USA, from Canada, from South America. God bless you and thanks for tuning in, and sorry for the late start today. Whatever the case, we got very, very exciting updates about the struggle for independence for Ambazonians to bring to you today. Please, as usual, I ask you to go ahead and quickly hit your share button. Let us get this platform immediately populated so that I can come to you fully. I'm going to be having a very exciting panel today. We're going to be talking about quite a number of issues. Unfortunately, I'm going to be starting in the sad mood tonight with the death of one of our own generals on the ground. And I'm going to be having my panel to bring us updates on that. But again, I'll be starting on a very sad note, the death of one of our own generals on ground zero, ladies and gentlemen. We also will be talking about the panic. The panic is like the panic button has been hit in this struggle, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the Treasury of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia shut down by orders of the Restoration Council of Ambazonia. And once you shut the Treasury, everybody who has something to do with the Treasury gets panicky. But guess who is the most panicky today? Of course, Samuel Sako, Irene Ngwa, and all the rest of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be touching on that and many other things. Please go ahead and quickly hit your share button before I come to you with this presentation proper. And while you hit your share button, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take you to Kumbo, where Bui warriors yesterday carried out some exploits against terrorist French Cameroon soldiers in the land of the warriors. The land of the warriors, I am talking about Bui, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look. I don't have good images here. All that I have is what has been sent to me, and I understand this took place. Under the command of Major Instructor.
a very deadly attack here in Kumbu town. This attack was led by a general of FEMA. This General Tokandu. His life in the field. We were on an attack. Yeah, the soldier. The soldiers of Bui Warriors, command of Field Marshal Insobu, on a deadly.
Again, what you are watching there, ladies and gentlemen, was action. Action from the land of the warriors. The land of the warriors in Bui, led by General Isubu himself, taking it to the terrorist forces of La République du Cameroon in Bui. We understand that took place yesterday. We do not have any details coming from there. We are yet to have it. We're hoping that by the next time I come up here, those details will be there. But all that I can tell you is that this took place yesterday. This took place yesterday and carried out by the Ambazonia Restoration Fighters under the command of General Isubu in Bui County. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you wondering whether action will return on ground zero, ladies and gentlemen, let me assure all of you, especially if you are on ground zero, that action will most definitely return on ground zero. I have no doubts about that. This interim government is working day and night to make sure that action returns on ground zero. Right now, we are trying to get our new president, ladies and gentlemen, Iya Marianta, sworn in. And the moment that is done, you can expect some action. Expect to see some action resume on ground zero. So if you are on ground zero and you are thinking that this struggle is over, this struggle is done, please do not be deceived. I see Dr. Munzu and the federalist team running around the place, putting some conference together to quickly take advantage of this situation to take us back into the hands of La République du Cameroon. Not until they kill all of us, Dr. Munzu, that you will be able to take our land, back into the hands of La République du Cameroon. I just have never understood, ladies and gentlemen, why Dr. Munzu, the one who read the AAC2 declaration and wept, ladies and gentlemen, and actually gave La République du Cameroon an ultimatum, telling La République du Cameroon if they did not do something, that a time was running out for the Southern Cameroon to declare its own territorial integrity and independence. That was Dr. Munzu in 1994. Yes, 1994, ladies and gentlemen, in Bamenda. The records are there. But today, Dr. Munzu has been fighting really hard, in spite of the 5 years of fighting against La République du Cameroon with their inability to reconquer us. Dr. Munzu is just trying, continues to try really hard, ladies and gentlemen, to get us back into the hands of La République du Cameroon. Dr. Munzu, sir, Your generation did not take us back, did not succeed to convince La République du Cameroon to give us a free country where we can walk freely, where we can talk freely, where we can live freely. Your generation did not succeed. Please do not squeeze the hands of this generation that wants to take back its destiny from that damn country, La République du Cameroon. Dr. Munzu, sir, you want to join La République du Cameroon? You can just move over there, sir. No one will stop you. No one in Ambazonia will stop you. The overwhelming majority of Ambazonians for 5 years, Dr. Munzu, for 5 years, continue to say they want their country back. They declared their independence, ladies and gentlemen, October 22, 2017. And that we are still in this war today, still funding it, still fighting. And guess who is fighting, of course, Ambazonia? Who is funding it? The overwhelming majority of Ambazonians, both on ground zero and in the diaspora. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Munzu, if this doesn't mean anything to you, please stop thinking that you represent Ambazonians. You do not represent Ambazonians, sir. You represent yourself and your family. So please, this your federalist conference that you are summoning to discuss the Southern Cameroons. Please, sir, that is all about you. It is not about us. It is not the overwhelming. It is not about the overwhelming majority of Ambazonians who are out here and on ground zero. And so, please, for as much as your conference holds in Douala or in Yaoundé, know that that conference is not about Ambazonia, sir. You want to hold your conference in Boya, you want to hold it in Victoria, you want to hold it in Kumba, you want to hold it in Bamenda, we will call it a Southern Cameroons conference. But as far as it takes place somewhere beyond our boundaries, beyond the Mongol, Dr. Munzu, that your conference is about La République du Cameroon. And you alone, sir, will represent yourself and do everything there in your own name, not in our name, not on behalf of Ambazonia. Dr. Munzu, you attended, and you were actually one of the chairs of the so-called Grand National Dialogue. Grand National Dialogue. Grand National Dialogue ended up with nothing. It's about 3 years today, Dr. Munzu, after the Grand National Dialogue you attended. They gave you the so-called special status. Dr. Munzu, what can you show Ambazonians after 3 years with a Grand National status, a special status that they gave you? You guys took over there, accepted over there in La République du Cameroon. What has it done? Nothing. Nothing. Dr. Munzu, you are still fighting to take Ambazonia, the Southern Cameroons, into La République du Cameroon. Dr. Munzu, for 5 years and counting that this war has been going on, sir, tell all these Southern Cameroonians, these millions out there, Dr. Munzu, what has changed? If you think that La République du Cameroon has the least concern, the least sympathy for the Southern Cameroons, Dr. Munzu, why is it that for all these years, La République du Cameroon hasn't done one thing to indicate, to show, demonstrate its intention, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Munzu, to show that they at least want to leave. They want to live with the Southern Cameroons. Dr. Munzu, sir, for over 60 years, Dr. Munzu, the union between La République du Cameroon and the Southern Cameroon did not work. We were made slaves. We were made criminals in our own land. We couldn't move about freely, Dr. Munzu. Some of you were privileged because you came from French Cameroon, migrated from French Cameroon to the Southern Cameroons. You were privileged to become the under-secretaries of the CPDM and so on and so forth in different places. You took the inferior positions in La République du Cameroon. They got you where you are today. The problem is that you think that everybody should just come along, flow along, and take those inferior positions from La République du Cameroon. Dr. Munzu, sir, that era is over. That era is over. And let me say this, Dr. Munzu, your conference, so-called Anglophone conference, is not about the Southern Cameroons. Southern Cameroonians are not mere Anglophones. They are a people's group, Dr. Munzu, and you know that every people's group deserves a free country of their own. It's a human rights issue, Dr. Munzu. So please, do not sit in Douala. Put some conference together. Gather all 11 province Southern Cameroonians together. Call a conference and call it Anglophone or Southern Cameroon's conference. No, you better call it the 11th province conference, Dr. Munzu. It is 11th province conference, not a Southern Cameroon's conference. So, Dr. Munzu, let me assure you today that Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, no longer consider what you do of any significance in this struggle. Your era is over. Your time is over. You were relevant in between 1992 and you were relevant between 1991 and 1994, Dr. Munzu. That time, that era is over. This is an entirely a new generation. A generation that has said no, and no to anything, any living together, any yoking together, Dr. Munzu, with La République du Cameroon. If your generation yoked together with La République du Cameroon, this is the generation that wants their own country, and they are funding the war to take back their country. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to change that. I hope you get this message, Dr. Munzu, because what you are doing there is just nothing but to fight, continue to keep your privileged slave position in La République du Cameroon. So ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, action is coming on ground zero. There is no option to that. If La République du Cameroon will not go to the negotiation table, the only other weapon that we have, that we know, ladies and gentlemen, is action. War started in the Ukraine only 4 days ago. 4 days ago. And guess what? The Russians who escalated, who launched the war, they were the first to call for mediation. And they are going to be meeting in Belarus, I think today. I think that, that meeting, that negotiation takes place or begins today in Belarus between Russians and Ukrainians. La République du Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen, will not as much as pay a listening ear to the appeals from the international community for a mediated settlement to this conflict. For 5 years and counting, La République du Cameroon refuses any form of mediation, any form of negotiation. You know, in their little minds, they are thinking that we are going to kill them until they all die. Or we are going to just sit here patiently until they all give up, surrender, or they fight among themselves and die. Listen to me, listen to me. That is not going to happen. Action, nothing but action is resuming on ground zero. You saw that in Bui yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, and it is coming up all over Amazonia. It is going to be hot, and I mean really, really hot. It is going to be hot. Action, ladies and gentlemen. Let me use this opportunity to appeal to every Amazonian out there. This is the time. This is the time to carry out the kind of action on ground that the public has not seen, ladies and gentlemen, the kind of action that the public has not seen on ground zero. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very critical. Let me appeal to you. Please, please, we need to support this lady, Iya Mariente, who is becoming our next transitional president, ladies and gentlemen, for this action to take place on ground zero. We need your money. One of these days, I'll be coming here to just raise money to see that she can begin that action immediately. Immediately. That is all that is needed on ground zero now. All this talks about negotiations and dialogue. Let's forget about that. A lot of people to Cameroon doesn't care. Ladies and gentlemen, they believe if they can just sit still and continue to go after our fighters, we will soon give up. We will soon surrender. That is their mentality. Ladies and gentlemen, we must never let them run with it. They must never, ever run away with that mentality. And so, I really hope that we will all come together, especially in the diaspora, to give a hand to Iya Mariente, our new president, to see she can begin to carry out some action on ground zero. That is all that matters right now. Action is all that matters right now, ladies and gentlemen. Now, having said that, let me take you to a very, very sad situation that took place on the ground, ladies and gentlemen. We lost one of our fiercest generals on the ground, ladies and gentlemen. The face you find there on the screen, that is General Mombasa of Kumba, General Mombasa of Kumba, ladies and gentlemen, who was gunned down. General Mombasa of K-Town, Kumba, was gunned down, I believe that was last Thursday. Now, this Mombasa was one of the fiercest, if not yet, ladies and gentlemen, the most feared general inside Kumba. If ghost towns ever started holding in Kumba, it was because of General Mombasa. If ghost towns stayed in Kumba, ladies and gentlemen, it was because of General Mombasa. It is in a very, very sad note that I come to you today to report that General Mombasa was killed. General Mombasa was killed in Kumba last Thursday. I think I have Prince Jeka with me today. He will be throwing some light into this unfortunate development from Kumba. But what I have learned is that they were out doing control, and apparently their hideout, their location was sold, and La République du Cameroun agents, came out, attacked him, and killed him. It is very, very, very sad because Mombasa is one of those, was one of those generals who was calling me and pleading and asking for help, even from ground one. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we can only channel information to the right quarters. There are times there is nothing that you can do but to channel it to the right quarters. And when things like this happen, when people like this go, it is very, very sad. Very, very sad. The people who were determined like him could stay, could be sustained to continue to wage the war, take the war to La République du Cameroon. That did not happen. Now, one thing I'm learning is that some the county chair of Kumba, the one called Tony, has been behind this guy, Mombasa, trying to get him down at all costs, I am yet to determine whether or not he actually was behind his death, his killings, last Thursday in Kosala, Kumba. But whatever the case, again, we will find out what happened, and anybody that we can figure out to be behind the death of Mombasa, ladies and gentlemen, trust that we are going to expose. We will expose that person. We cannot continue to lose our own in the hands of our own. We cannot continue, ladies and gentlemen, to see our own gone in the hands of our own. All right, having said that, let me take you, ladies and gentlemen, into the heart of this broadcast. Now, please go ahead, hit your share button. We want to see at least 1K on this screen. We want to see at least 1K on this screen. So please, if you are just joining, go ahead and you hit your share button. Let us populate, get this at least 1K, ladies and gentlemen, on the screen here. Now, let me take you to the National Treasury. The National Treasury, lady. Now, before I take you to the National Treasury, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring in Prince J.K. I believe you will have some information about the death of General Mombasa. Prince J.K., it's great to have you, sir. I want to believe you know at least something about the death of General Mombasa. Good to see you, J.K.
Greetings, Secretary Chris. How you doing?
Thank you. Tell us, what do you know about the death of Mombasa?
Well, the death of Mombasa came to me very, very shocking, but actually not really shocking because I could say as a young man, as a youth, that the death of Mombasa really touched me because and Mombasa were in communication. And Mombasa were talking. He asked for help from Watana Wata. And when I was sent his image, the picture which they said he was dead, it really touched me so bad. It broke me down because I even called Enrico Acaba and I said I regretted ever listening to Diaspora. If I knew, I would have given the help. I would have offered him the help. This was one of the last videos Mombasa sent to me. This was the last videos which Mombasa sent to me. If I could show you here. And these are the things which I said diaspora is one of the biggest problems we have. This is the video, if you can see. This was the money he had, which somebody sent from him. This is him talking. Easy for you to come here for Nigeria for all the long time since they don't have. Just wait. This is it. You could see this is one of the last video which he sent to me, and he was really asking me for help. He was asking for Watana Wata should help him. And I had to contact Enrico Acaba. I had to contact him because he's in Meme, and for him to give me more updates on what is going on. And Enrico Acaba told me that the Bonge LG has sent Mombasa to Ground 1 to go get some materials. And Mombasa came back with those materials. Mombasa heard that there was one guy in Kumba who was stealing. So before Mombasa could even inform the Bonge LGA, Mombasa went over and killed that thief that was in Kumba. And when Tony heard about what Mombasa did, Tony sent guys to come and hold Mombasa, and then by then Mombasa ran back to Ground 1. And Tony told Mombasa that if Mombasa ever comes back to Kumba LG, Mombasa will die. Yeah, that was that was the information I got on the background when I was finding out if Watana Wata should support Mombasa in ground one when he contacted me. That was the information I got. I found out about it and they said it was true. But from the onset, from the beginning, Tony has always been on the part of this young man, Tony of Kumba LGA. Tony has always been on the back, always, even when this young man was under Paul Nilong. I was the one who asked Paul Nilong to hand this young man to Kumba LGA, which Tony is the chairman. These are the things which you see when you hear me talking about Dr. Sako doing dirty games between Fako, Meme, and Dian. These are the kind of nonsense. Yeah, because if you find out how many young men have fallen in the hands of Tony, how many have fallen in the hands of Tony, since he came into that Kumba LGA, he has refused to relinquish power. Just like how Dr. Sako is holding power, that's the same thing Tony is doing. Above died in Kumba LGA. The other one, which I hear now, one of his commanders is in jail before this young man Mombasa is being killed. And I was the one who told Tony Long to hand this young man back to Tony, to give it to under Tony, because the LGA and counties, we said every fighter should work under their counties. Now, when I heard that, I was so shocked and I felt so bad because it was a young man which I've known him from the beginning when he was being controlled by Paul, and at the time which he had to die. He wrote me today is making at least 1 week, 5 days, which Mombasa sent me his last message, begging for me for support. And at the time he had to die, I was instead thinking about people in diaspora, whereas we would have given him the little we had in Watana Wata to support him to get whatever he wanted before he goes and die. So these are the things which Secretary Chris have told the fighters on the ground that if they want things to go well, they need to start uniting themselves against these diaspora hoodlums. Yeah, they need to start uniting themselves against these people. If not,
so I'm getting
most
it
of them
from
will
you
live in
also
their life.
because before I came on live, I spoke with somebody who is one of the leaders in the Kumba LGA, and he pointed fingers too at Tony. And Tony has been in Kumba for as long as Sako has been president of this interim government, and many other atrocities have been reported of him. Why is it that it's so hard to take out Tony out of Kumba, JK? And I will go to Enrico because you mentioned Enrico. It seems Enrico has some connections there. I will go to him too.
Let me give some corrections. It was not Bonge LGA that sent him, but Kumba LGA under Chairman Fritz. Now, but what I want to say about Tony, why you see Tony is in Kumba, you see, there is something which Ambazonians don't know why they don't want to change Tony, just like they don't want to change Fombat. If you see this black tar, the black tar you see linking from Mutengene till Meme and up to Ndian, that Savannah Highway, that's a very, I can say, that highway gives a lot of money to Chris. Yeah. There is, and whatever, for example, if one truck of cocoa has to leave Meme to go to Kumba, for that truck of cocoa to pass safely on that road, Tony and Fomba, they have to arrange. And anything that comes out of it, they will share. Yeah. So that's one thing, and that's why I said it before, that for the fact that Dr. Sako went behind to support Fombat, that means he knows what is going on there, because in several Zoom meetings, I've asked Dr. Sako that does he know that the money, there is so much money passing out in that road which doesn't get into this government. There is so much money being developed inside Fako, Meme, which the interim government, the people of Ambazonia don't know. He says such things like that happen in war. No, such things like that doesn't happen in war. Why you see things like that happening is because he has an interest in it. Yeah, because most of those fighters inside Meme and Fako, most of them have become business owners. Yeah, it's now they have started changing. Most of them have become business owners. They arrange the deal. It is good. It's not bad thing. It is good during war for fighters to generate funds. But the thing is the fund being used the right way? Is the right channel, which is the Treasury of Amazonia, is the right channel being noticed, giving notice about the money which is being made on that highway or being made on that on those counties and LGA? The answer is no. And that's why you see Tony and Fombat are being kept there and being supported by Dr. Sako.
All right, let me get quickly to Enrico Acaba to tell us what he knows about the death of General Mombasa. Hello, Enrico. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, thank so much, Secretary Chris. Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. I want, first of all, to throw a 21 gun salute to our foot soldiers defending the homeland. Yes, Secretary Chris, the death of Mombasa, I was very shocked when I received the news because I was communicating with Mombasa. I knew Mombasa was on ground one. But when the news came that Mombasa was killed in Kusala, I was very shocked because I quite remember last time we sent Mombasa because I belong to Kumba LGA. The same time I belong to Mogamo LGA because I grew in Kumba. I also grew in Bonge, and then Mogamo also. So in that three LGAs, I'm there. So we sent Mombasa to ground one for to purchase our materials. When Mombasa came with three sticks, and then it happens that Mombasa saw one tips in Kumba and people were complaining. Even Free Marshal, I contacted Free Marshal. Free Marshal investigated the issue and told me people in Kusala said that guy was a thief. So when Tony realized that Mombasa was in Kumba because Mombasa was a threat to Tony, and Tony had to send one of his three of his guys, like they go to Mombasa and manipulated Mombasa that they want to join Mombasa to fight, and Mombasa accepted them. When Mombasa went to take his bath, that's where the guys took the weapons, and when Mombasa came, they fired the weapon on Mombasa. He has to run and went to ground one back, and they took the three sticks. And when late General Spiritu was still alive, because late General Spiritu was my brother. Before dying, he sent money to Ground One for to purchase some materials, and Kumba LGA happened to send their own money for one stick. And when it happens that General Spiritu was killed, and now nobody has any idea of the money that Kumba LGA sent, so I have to come in now because General Spiritu was my brother, and I have to speak to the fighters. Look, Kumba LGAs gave money to General Spiritu, and General Spiritu sent you people in ground one to put material. And we don't care to know how many of the material came, but what we need is Kumba LGA needs their one sticks, and it happens that the senior man of General Spiritu was among them. So I spoke with him. He said, "Okay, uh, no problem." So I took the stick, and the one stick is still under the Kumba LGA. So when Mombasa was being arrested and by Tony, so we told Mombasa, you can go back to ground one, and Kumba LGA is still trying to rank him up to see if they can still equip Mombasa back. But one funny thing is that after the draft of Kumba LGA up to now, the Treasury, the IG, they have not released the 2022 draft of Kumba LGA. I think that is the main problem because when Mombasa was crying of finance, I called the chairman, what is going on? We drafted, and why is it that they don't want to release the money of Kumba LGA? I think that's just the problem of Mombasa because Anthony has been threatening Mombasa to kill Mombasa, that Mombasa is a threat, Mombasa is a terrorist, Mombasa is this and that. So that's just the problem happening in Kumba LGA.
All right. We will leave it there. I can promise Ambazonians out there that we will get back to the bottom of this story because it is pathetic what this guy called Tony has been doing in Kumba and Meme in general since the beginning of this struggle. We cannot sit still and see this go on unstopped, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kind of impunity that we have seen of Sako for the 5 years. For the 5 years of this struggle, we cannot continue to patronize that, and I would really want to believe that every Ambazonian out there will step out, put his or her own voice into happenings like this one when they are perpetrated by people from within. People from within. Now, I will move to something else, ladies and gentlemen, before I bring back the panel. Now, you all are aware that the Restoration Council of Ambazonia issued an injunction asking the Treasury General of the Federal Republic to freeze the National Treasury against any requisitions. The National Treasurer, accordingly, has shut down the Treasury. And money can still go into the Treasury, but money cannot go out of the Treasury. But not only that, the Restoration Council also ordered an audit of the National Treasury, ladies and gentlemen. They order an audit of the National Treasury. Now, you have all seen messages out there emerging from Dr. Sako, who is trying to remain as relevant as possible. You hear messages. Ochiba is out there going crazy, running mad, almost going naked because of the inability of the Sako so-called government to access the Treasury. Now, last week, Sako's so-called, ladies and gentlemen, government summoned a meeting, a fundraiser with HSS, that is the Department of Health and Social Services. We learned this was supposed to be a fundraiser. Once at the meeting, we learned of the commotion in that meeting, ladies and gentlemen. The commotion was emerging from the fact that they can no longer access the National Treasury. And some were yelling on top of their voices, demanding that their money in the National Treasury should be retrieved back to them, should be paid back to them. They went as far as calling the National Treasurer, Richard Tango, asking that he returns all their individual contributions in that treasury. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Tango has no powers to return a dime to anybody in Ambazonia because it is not his money. He is just acting on the instructions of the institution here being the Restoration Council of Ambazonia. And so, without the ability to go in there and take out money, Sako's rents cannot be paid. And we learned from that meeting he was really pleading and begging that something should be done for his rent to pay. Now, this guy forgets, ladies and gentlemen, that when you are impeached and removed, they can no longer pay your rent. While you were there, recognized as a legitimate leader, your rents could be paid, sir. But when you are impeached and removed, you are no longer recognized as the leader. You are no longer legitimate. You can no longer take Ambazonia's money to pay your rent or to put gas in your car or to go to Costco for some shopping. You no longer can do that because you have been removed. This is what should settle down your brains, that you have been removed. And so to lament, thinking that, oh, the treasurer will immediately be open for some portion of your rents to be paid. No, sir, that era is gone. It is over. You are no longer the leader of Amazonia. And so there was not only the lament about how his rents will be paid for the month of March, ladies and gentlemen. This woman who spreads her tentacles, as you all know, everywhere, immediately came up at that HSS so-called fundraiser. By the way, they also think that, these guys, they are trying by all means to make believe to Amazonia. They are still in charge, running and raising funds for Operation Lava Storm 3 when he has been removed, running and trying to raise funds for HSS, they call it funds for refugees, when he is no longer in charge. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, no doubt, nobody gave him a dime. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody gave him a dime. I learned that out of about 118 people, 118 people present in that fundraiser, they could not raise over $500. I think I'm told that somebody who sneaked in there told me. I was hoping to have him give us a little report here. But the person who sneaked into that meeting and stayed in that meeting throughout has told me that they did not raise 118 or 19 people could not raise $500. Ladies and gentlemen, they could not raise $500 for refugees. And I hope this begins to send a strong message to Dr. Sako somewhere that you are no longer president, sir, you are former president. That you are no longer leader, you are former leader. And that Amazonians no longer want to put a dime under your management because you have refused to go for an audit of your 4 years or 2 years stewardship over 2 droughts and all the lava storms. You have refused to give them your to render your financial stewardship over Lava Storm 1, Lava Storm 2, Lava Storm 3, and all these fundraisers you are conducting today. Ladies and gentlemen, he has refused to do so. He has also refused to give account for what happened in the southern zone, Victoria in particular, when he collected thousands of dollars with that woman in London called Elizabeth, is it Zambelele or Jambelele, whom he single-handedly picked to be in charge of Fako. Fako people are asking where their money is. Ladies and gentlemen, Sako is yet to give an account for those funds. And of course, talk about the president's basket, no accounting. Talk about all the 20% from all the 13 counties for 2 years. 2 years, no account. No account. And so when people refuse Mr. Sako to put money in your hands, these are the reasons. Of course, CDC on is there. And how about that alleged $200,000 you sign up to take into your pocket and John through insult? How about that? Accounting need to be given for all of this, and I can assure you, if you think that Amazonians are going to let this go without you giving that accounting, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. And again, I think Amazonians are beginning to get the message. Please, we are not building a lawless country, even though we don't have any laws yet, any courts yet. But we're not going to build a lawless country where somebody can just come and sit over and think that he is accountable to nobody. When he is questioned and asked to be brought to order, He fired the Restoration Council, and he is right now trying to build another Restoration Council to handpick, ladies and gentlemen, handpick his own so-called Restoration Council member. We are waiting out here to see who will go and sit in the caricature called Sako's Restoration Council. We are looking out for that. And let me also say this. Every county chair who is still hanging out there with Sako, we want Ambazonians to take note. Take note. Who is hanging out with Sako, the Franchenis and Martin Mungwas of the so-called cabinet, ladies and gentlemen. The only reason they are hanging out with Sako today is cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, that is what binds them together. Money, business is what binds them together, not Ambazonia. If it were Ambazonia, Sako would have respected the will of the overwhelming majority of Ambazonians who say he should step down. He should step down, ladies and gentlemen. So let me say this. Every county chair out there still hanging around Sako, they are not hanging around Sako because of Ambazonia. They are hanging around Sako because of the common business interests that they share. And we must bring them down. We must bring them down. They cannot crumble. This struggle, ladies and gentlemen, we must not allow them crumble this struggle. And I hope that the Treasury will bind them. The Treasury will stop them from collecting a dime in that Treasury in the name of county, because I understand most of the money in the Treasury is owned by the counties. But I want to believe that the Restoration Council will enforce the injunction that if any county chair is still hanging around Sako, that county chair becomes illegitimate immediately, ladies and gentlemen. Because the Restoration Council cannot say Sako is impeached and removed. In some county chairs are desperately trying to make him legitimate by still hanging around him. Such a county chair, LGA chair, hanging around Sako, ladies and gentlemen, they should not collect a dime from the National Treasury, because then they are no longer legitimate if they are recognizing sitting, dining with an illegitimate leader. Ladies and gentlemen, that should be taken care of, and I hope that the Restoration Council will take care of this. Now, but not only that, they went into this fundraiser last week for HSS. They said they've forgotten that HSS is no longer under their control. The HSS is a legitimate department of this interim government, not a fake interim government that Sako sits over that is crumbling with him. Ladies and gentlemen, Sako and Irene Ngwa, that thing is crumbling with them. So, without the ability to put money and remove money from the Treasury, Irene Ngwa, ladies and gentlemen, Irene Ngwa put out a message asking everybody out there to come in. You want to donate money to the Treasury. You want to donate money to the Treasury. She says, send it to my account. Send it to my account, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Irene Ngwa said. That's the message that Irene Ngwa sends out to Ambazonians, asking Ambazonians to send money into her private accounts. Ladies and gentlemen, send money into her private accounts. Ladies and gentlemen, where did you find that? Where did you ever find that? In a responsible government, a responsible institution. Now, do not be in the habit, do not want to say, oh, you see, but the Treasury was shut down against them. The Treasury was shut down. That's for real. But HSS is a legitimate, registered 501c non-profit organization in the USA. HSS equally has its own bank accounts, ladies and gentlemen. But this woman brought out her own private payment systems and asked that money, Ambazonian money, should be directed to her private accounts. The money should be paid to her private accounts. And we have many other instances during the draft where she has asked, if you cannot make payment to the Treasury, send the money to my account. This is my Cash App. This is my Zelle. And so Ambazonian money is sent to her private accounts. And that money has never been accounted for, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I learned that she operated an account that the National Treasury had no idea how much exists in that account. When they tried to find out, when they tried to withdraw what was in that account, she shut everybody off that account. And she will yell on top of her lungs to tell you, I don't have private accounts. I don't have private accounts. Irene Ngwa, we need you to show receipts of money leaving your private accounts and going into the National Treasury of Ambazonia, ma'am. We need to see those receipts. That is, if you want us to believe money is coming into your account and then going out into the National Treasury of Ambazonia, bring out transfer receipts of monies leaving your account into that of the National Treasury. And then we will know you are such an honest woman as you want everybody to believe. But so, ladies and gentlemen, we have warned you. We have warned all of you out there. Please, anything involving Sako and Irene Ngwa, give them no dime. Give them no dime. Anybody who doesn't think that accountability is part of the institution should not be given a dime. Ladies and gentlemen, should not be given a dime. They told you that Secretary Chris was running away from an audit, isn't it? Yeah. They told you he was running away from an audit. And then you went for an audit. And they have refused to go for an audit. Please, Ambazonians, for 4 years, Sako has not been able to give proper accounting of anything put on his table. The end of it should be now. The end of that should be now. Nobody should be putting a dime in their pocket for anything. If they cannot show us what they did with the thousands we gave them for AFCON, if they cannot show us what they did with the thousands they collected, raised, ladies and gentlemen, they told us they raised 56,000 a month ago, 56,000, and 11 February was here and left. And what did they do? They did nothing. Nothing, ladies and gentlemen. There is no reason why any Ambazonian should still be putting a dime into the hands of these people. They have been impeached and they have been removed. Let it be so. Let it be so. Now, we have learned that. Let me bring in my team right now. Let them look into this before we move on. I am joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Mr. Nanchok himself, the German still joined by Enrico Acaba, and of course Prince J.K. They're all joining me from Europe today. Mr. Nanchop, sir, you have been listening to me. So much is going on. Dr. Sako trying to circumvent everything to remain relevant in this struggle, to the extent that now Irene Ngwa has to collect the money, put it in her accounts, and if she can release it, we thank God. If she cannot, you never have to ask her, isn't it?
Dr. Chris, first of all, let me start by greeting the precious and great people of Amazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, Papa and Mami, on a pleased day. Again, before I answer your question, I want to address a few things that my comrades talked about. They talked about Tony of Meme and Fombat of Fako in relation to the disgraced, impeached, and dismissed President Sako. Secretary Chris, this is the problem here. Some people have taken this struggle as a money-making business, and this is the sad part about this struggle right now. Because let me give you the commonness between Fombat of Fako and Tony of Meme. If you see, these are individuals that pay their loyalty to Sako. They don't pay their loyalty to Amazonia. They are paying their loyalty to an individual, to Sako. And this goes down to those county chairs that are paying their loyalty to Sako. And there was something common about them. I'll name 3 things that are common about these individuals or set of persons. 1, they are all involved in dirty financial games. 2, they are responsible for the killings of Amazonian soldiers and generals, most especially the patriots. These are individuals that have refused to pay allegiance to them and to support their dirty works. I can give you an example. For instance, Mombasa, you talked about A2. You remember, I still keep asking the question about A2. The moment A2 did talk about the money not getting into their hands, he was killed. And Commando of, we know of what happened to Commando. We had audios where Irene Ngwa was altering threats against Commando and wishing him dead. And a few weeks after, we saw Commando died. And again, these are all individuals. Those who are responsible for these heinous crimes are all loyalists or loyalists to Sako. This is the problem, Dr. Chris. I can give you another example. Think of Ngoketunja, for instance. We've seen that a county like Ngoketunja has been the first county that always gives a motion of support to Sako. What is happening in Ngoketunja? Ngoketunja was burning, and we heard of the great job that my friend Field Marshal Nopiti was doing. And Sako saw this as an opportunity to get some money through the actions of Field Marshal Nopiti to make himself rich, because this guy was manifesting his bravery, and we saw tremendous actions against La Republique thugs. And again, what happened is that Sako had to change the county leadership that was not loyal to him, that would not give him the chance to make business out of this. Because what Sako was trying to do was to get money from the people of Amazonia in support for, in the name of Field Marshal Nopiti. And the county leadership will not allow that happen. So Sako had to bring in manipulations to pull off that leadership. We've seen the same strategy in Fako. Sako applied the same strategy in Fako because of his deals with Supermont and CDC, and the clash he had with the leadership over interest. What did he do? He banned the security team and dismantled the leadership. The same thing he's doing. It's a game. And the thing is, it's sad to see that these individuals, these corrupt, devilish individuals, are using this struggle for their own private business. My brother JK just said something a few moments ago, that he approached Sako like I have done. And what was Sako's response? Well, things like this happen when there is war. He tries to cover up these guys. Things like this happen, like people will steal money and these things will happen, yeah. But he's part of it. He's the master planner behind it. See, such a Chris. And the third thing again, that is common with these individuals, I promised to give 3. I said the first one was they are involved in dirty financial games. I talked about their responsibility in killing patriotic generals and restoration fighters that are not loyal to them. And the third thing you see, which is again a master plan of Sako, is that no action against La Republique is being perpetrated or carried out in these LGAs or counties or areas where you have these talks. For instance, Meme, when was the last time we saw something hot come out from Meme? All you hear is Tony taking money from cocoa farmers, Tony and Sako, Tony and this. It's terrible. The same thing in Fako. When was the last time we saw a tangible action against La Republique to Cameroon? But you hear of Fombat and Sako, you hear of the Monte CDC deals, money, a lot of money. It's become a business of Sako. And you go down to Gorketwinja. We used to see tremendous actions from New Pity, my friend. But they brought now because he refused to be part of that dirty game of Sako. When was the last time we heard of an action in Gorketwinja? Secretary Chris, this is something that I think the people of Ambazonia, they must open their eyes to. These are the realities. I wish they can see and perceive the things we are saying when they hear us talk. Now, let me come back to your question about Sako making himself relevant. So, Chikis, this is it. This is what Sako fails to understand. A leader does not make a people. The people make a leader. As a matter of fact, you calling yourself a leader and having no one to lead, I wonder who you are leading. Sako fails to understand the very basics of leadership. The people of Ambazonia have rejected Sako just like God rejected Saul. The children of Israel rejected Saul. Sako should, I believe this is somebody I thought has spiritual wisdom. He should understand that he's a non-effect in Ambazonia. And him trying to use violence to impose himself upon the people doesn't mean the people will accept his leadership. Ambazonia has got a new president. We have a new leadership. And this is going to be a very great arena for the people of Ambazonia because we are coming out of a lot of darkness. We've learned a lot of things from the era of Sako. Sako has been a great failure, Secretary Chris. And what Sako and Irene Ngwa are doing, I really wonder if they have any iota of shame in them. Like, what do they really think they are doing? I just believe it's like the devil, right? They know they failed. They don't want to die alone. They are just trying to destroy everything right now, like Irene Ngwa said. If it's spoiled, it's spoiled. Sagad, Sagad. So I will still call on the intelligent and the great people of Amazonia. Times are tough. We need to be wise. We need to learn from the previous things that have happened, and we must make right decisions. We must not be indecisive, and I yield, Secretary Chris.
All right. Let us talk about Sako trying to be relevant, and that issue came up over the question of this so-called ASSC that they are trying to put up in Washington, D.C. Sako has been removed, impeached and removed. But he is trying to remain relevant, trying to get Ambazonians to believe he is just still there, he is still their leader, and so they are talking about ASSC. He was relevant when it took place in Berlin, Germany, in 2018 or 19 was it. And then when the Restoration Council removes him, impeaches and removes him, suddenly, behold, he starts talking about an ASSC as if he still represents anybody in this struggle. Prince Jeka, if I may get to you and Enrico, what do you think Sako is trying to do here other than trying to remain relevant, get this period to be over, and get Ambazonians still believing that he is still their leader? Prince Jeka.
Secretary Chris, Ambazonian people, when we just talk the name Dr. Sako, some people might just feel we want to just call name, or maybe we want to just blackmail Dr. Sako. But I would like to bring out Ambazonian some points. Yeah, as a voice of your ancestor, I would like any Ambazonian, you get a paper and pen if you are there, and then you jot out some points why you can understand why we Ambazonians, we the youth, are smarter than these old analog people. You see, we the youth in every nation, as a young man, you must be smart. You see, our smartness has even helped La Republique to become smart. That's why you see they are changing, they're struggling to change their own system. So let me give you one example why we don't need Dr. Sako anymore. Number one, if you look at the ward draft, in every ward draft in every county, the interim government of Dr. Sako has 20%. If there are 13 counties in Amazonia, if you take 20% from all those 13 counties, you find out that the interim government of Dr. Sako is the most richest organization or the most richest county or LGA inside Amazonia. Now, when you finish with the 20% of the world draft, you go now to citizenship levy. Citizenship levy, nobody in Amazonia knows how much gets into the account, apart from now that we are having audits going on. Nobody knows how much get to it because citizenship levy is individual donation on the background into the coffers of Amazonia. That's number two. Then number three, you have the presidential baskets and personal donations done behind secretly without people knowing. Now, when you amount to all this money and then you see that there is a nation cup happening on the ground and we cannot even account for RPGs and people are still asking for money every day, then you need to put a question mark. Or when you calculate all this money, let's say if not all counties gave 20%, but at least eight or nine counties gave 20% of their world draft. So I don't want Amazonians to sit there and think like, oh, activists have gathered with secretaries and we are just here busy calling Dr. Sako's name. No. Before this world drafting started, Prince J.K., we of Watanawata, we started doing it on El Clasico when we started raising money. We're the one who boast of the world draft. And I told my Irene then, I said, with $200,000 and good logistics, we are able to get 10 RPGs. It will change the game on the ground. But if you could see, throughout all this period, we have gotten more than $200,000. But the Nation Cup was able to hold in Victoria. And then when we bring up case of what is happening, Dr. Sako refuses. He refuses to acknowledge there is a problem. So you see, right now we have more than 10 different problems. One, when they arrested the Naira, Dr. Sako put everybody under Sako's government. He put them, all of them, under suspension and investigation. Till today, the investigation is not completed. That's one problem. Number two, he came to Fako, he dissolved Fako Security Council and the executive without putting nothing in place, which encouraged the Nation Cup, the Chan, and the Mountain Race to hold. That's number two problem. Number three, the death of Commando in Momo. If you touch everywhere, there is a problem. Yeah, and he refuses to accept the problem right to inside his government, dividing the government, dividing the Restoration Council, dividing the Amber Peace Plan. So I don't want Amazonia to just sit there and think that, oh, we activists are just coming here to come and talk with secretaries and to criticize Dr. Sako. No, we youths are very smart. We are very, very smart. We know how to pick out someone. And for the AS, whatever he's doing, that's a crap. Yeah, I've told him, and I said it just like how I told Eric Tato, my friend, once upon a time. I told him nobody will give him money and nobody will contribute. Irene Ngwa can use all our bank accounts and everything to move around, but nobody will give. I'm very happy for a patron like Mr. Richard Tengu. That's what we need in Amazonia. Mr. Richard Tengu, 21 gun salute to you. Yeah, that's what we, the people of Amazonia, we the youths need. We need people who are loyal. Give the accounts to be audited so that before Dr. Sako leave, if there's any money that has been taken, we, the people of Amazonian, will know that this is what he took before he leave, because now it's not going to be like the case of Siseku. So anything they are doing is a sham. And Amazonian people, we have a new interim president. She's a woman, she's a youth, she's a vibrant woman. I've been with her for a very long time. She has worked as a chairlady in European coordinators and organized one of the festivals which Dr. Sako used to come and collect money in Europe. So we the youths are taking over. Yeah, we the youths are now in charge. So I encourage everyone, and I will tell those cheer people who are still playing those dirty games. We created those counties and LGA which you claim to be cheer people, and we can do it. If you think you want to follow Dr. Sako, just like how the CPDM cabal of Atanganji is following Dictator Biya, then we'll kick you out. It's 1 minute for we to kick out the cheer people, 1 minute. But we know when they will not see money, they'll start coming back. But we have noted your names. you will not occupy no position in Southern Cameroon anymore. All of you have disgraced the dignity of the people. So all the nonsense they are doing about AS2 and Bazonia is a sham. We'll have our interim president put this weekend, and from then we'll kick off. Every action will begin.
All right, let me
Fighters are
get.
united and we'll move.
Okay, let me get to Enrico. Enrico, give us your take. Give us your take on this effort by Sako to remain relevant, calling for fundraisers, calling for ASC 2, whereas he has been impeached and removed.
Yeah, Secretary Chris, my own opinion as far as what Dr. Sako is doing, to me, I just believe Dr. Sako is trying to raise funds for his retirement benefit. Because to my best understanding, the Bitcoin, or they call it Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, they invested our money in that project, and I think uh, they don't have any interest benefit in that cryptocurrency. So now they are frustrated. If you listen the audios, they have been sending out there like Ochemba Nelson, Paul Nilong crying fouls that the Treasury has blocked the account. They don't speak with the president. They don't take command to the president, which means they are frustrated. And the meeting, the ASC they are trying to hold, Sako is trying to raise money so that if in case he's going, at least for the meantime he can pay his rent, because as of now they are frustrated. I just think Ambazonian people should rally behind our strong lady. She's a vibrant woman from Dian, and you can see Ten Kobo is doing a great job. They are the people behind Ten Kobo. So I think we should rally behind the vibrant youth. Dr. Sako is just playing politics, and if you fall the trap, you contribute your money. You are giving Sako the retirement benefit, which means some of their surrogate, they are trying like to support him to go to retirement so that in case he can pay his house rent for 2 years or 1 year. We best understand in the past years he was not fit to pay his rent. Ambazonian people has been paying his rent, giving him food and everything. We have all the documents, everything out there, which means Sako in the past years he didn't have any job, so he's now frustrated because to me, if somebody take their job, it's one of the most frustrated thing in life. If they take a job, your job from you, so Ambazonian people pay him every month, pay his last rent, so he's frustrated to see that where he was depending on is going. So that's just my own opinion. What he's doing, he knew that he's not fit, and Barcelona people don't want him anymore. So he's just looking for his retirement benefit to take and go. But if you fall the trap, you contribute. That's it. So that's just my own opinion.
Mr. Nanchop, he is now, I think Enrico makes a point there. He is just trying to collect this money, go on retirement, and before you know, it is over with him. He is raising money for ASSC, and this ASSC is not going to hold because Ambazonians do not recognize him as their leader. He will go with the money, isn't it? Mr. Nanchop.
Yes, sir. I guess you guys can get me. Hello?
Yes,
I hope you can get me, Secretary Chris.
Yes, I can get you.
Yeah, we can get you. Get you.
Excellent, excellent. I had to laugh because Enrico made an interesting point talking about Sako's retirement benefit. Well, listen, fellow Amazonians, Secretary Chris, this is the point here. Let me answer your first question. You talked about Sako trying to present himself or give himself some relevance. Secretary Chris, who in his right senses, after having an opportunity for 4 years, Sako could not prove to us his relevance for 4 years, Secretary Chris. We gave this man for 4 years our love, our trust, our money, everything. What did we not give Sako? Our support. Sako could not prove his relevance to the people of Amazonia. And I want to say this, fellow Amazonians, in a war like ours, Productive action is what validates leadership, not words and fake promises. Let this be clear to us. Listen, I did not say actions. I said productive actions is what or award are the things that validates leadership, not words and fake promises. And Sako has failed for the 4 years he's been in power to give us productive actions. Secretary, we are at war. How do we measure the success of a project? By its results. So let's talk about the things Sako has done. Let's have an open debate, and I'm willing to have an open debate with anybody anywhere. List the projects Sako has carried in his 4 years tenure. Is it my trip to Boya, which was a gross scandal? Is it the lava storm? And now we're hearing about lava storm 3. Is it the first draft or the second draft? Is it in galvanizing our forces and giving them a focus? What has Sako done that we all can be proud of? So, because if you never initiated or brought the Swiss initiative, amongst other projects that you have brought to him, the ones that went bad, he blamed you. The ones that are still standing, he will not give you the credit. What has Sako done? Has Sako visited any international body? What are the international relationships he has created for Amazonia in the favor of Amazonia? What can Sako be boastful? Let's be honest. What can the surrogates of Sako boast of that Sako has done for us Amazonians for 4 years plus, such a Chris? So listen, the whole of this discussion about Sako's relevance and him trying to do what's to me is just a manifestation of stupidity. Sako has lost everything. Sako, even in his grave, his dead corpse will be regretting, because Sako is the worst person that we ever experienced in the midst of doing this war, and he's going into history as the worst. Well, you can only compare two things after experiencing them, but the truth is, I believe any other leadership that comes into power and into place will try to be better than Sako, because the divisive principles and policies of Sako have gotten us to where we are. Presently, Amazonia is so divided. You have the Ayoktabe camp, you have the this camp, you have the dit camp, even within those supporting Sako, everybody is still divided because of the divisive policies of Sako.
All right, let us talk about these counties a little bit before we move on to the last subject here. There are quite a number of counties that are still hanging with Sako. Even the chair of chairs, who happens to be from India, is still hanging with Sako, and that is the constituency of the president-elect Iya Marienta. You still have, of course, you mentioned, I think was one of you who mentioned Ngo Ketunjia. We know those are the fears. The people actually sustaining Sako, we all know why. Of course, it's a cryptocurrency ring. Ngo Ketunjia, Bui is like this. My friend, She Yimbo. We know also of Mezam is hanging with, and I'm talking about the chairs who are hanging with Sako. The only chairs or counties that we know are absolutely not with Sako is Fako, is Momo, and Lebialem. These are the three that we know are categorically out of Sako, but the rest, what do you guys think should happen to these guys? To me, I think that every dime in the treasury that is going to any of these counties should not touch their hands. What's your take?
Secretary Chris, let me say this. Amazonians must understand that there is a difference between the county chairs and the county. A county chair is just an individual, one of those who belong to a county. And one thing that I'm proud of us, the Amazonian people, is that we've demonstrated power to the people, that power belongs to the people. So the counties and their LGAs, they know what is good for this struggle. We know what we want. So any individual in the name of a county chair still hanging with Sako becomes invalid as Sako. So my suggestion to handle this is very simple. The counties and the LGAs must have a meeting and summon their chairs or leadership and caution them that democracy is the rule of the majority. Taking into consideration that the Amazonian people in their entirety have decided that they don't want Sako again, independent of the personal affiliations and connections these individuals are having with Sako, they must make a choice. It's either they stick with the disgraced and impeached Sako, or they give up their positions of leadership. And the county have the free room to vote someone else. Talking about the finances, this is the point. Right now, Amazonians, we all have drafted twice for all our counties, 26 times, I think, 13 counties, 26 times, too. That's right. So the point here is we should be holding our county executives onto accountability. They should tell us what they've been able to do with the past draft. Right now, I would say each county should at least freeze their drafts, call their county leadership onto accountability, let them be able to justify what they've taken from the treasury and what they've been able to do with the money. And those that are found guilty or unfruitful, they should be kicked out before a new leadership board should be elected that will prosecute this war on Ground Zero. I emphasize that we want to see results on Ground Zero, Secretary Chris. These are the very reasons we are drafting. And all the county leadership that have failed us, you talked about, you named a series of counties. If you look at them, there was something common about them. They are doing nothing. DMC is dead. Ngokitunja when Sako, due to the mafia of Sako, is dying. And the rest that you name, nothing is happening there. And you see all these county chairs we did mention, they are all involved in this cryptocurrency with Sako. So right now, they are no more serving Amazonians or their county. They are serving their private interest. I think the people have to eject them out. It's a matter of urgency. Thank you.
Prince Kai, give us your take on this. What should happen to these county chairs hanging out with Sako?
Secretary Chris, on counties and LGA, we have a strategic plan, because I believe we activists were the one who brought up the county and LGA structure. The parable I will say here is, they say water no day for give life for tree, the die normal die. Any person who understand that will just know. He who has the cake decides the eater. If there is no money, all those county chairs become nothing. Yeah, that's the strategy with any county chair that wants to make anything. Once you freeze up the money from coming to him, he remains like a leaf that is dead on a tree. That was one of the strategy we put in place when county by county started. That if any county chair wants to hold into power or wants to destroy this thing, will take away the county. The best thing you see that has happened is what the Treasury and the Restoration Council has done, freezing up the money. That's simple. If they know they want to be county chair, let them go and mortgage their houses. They should go and mortgage their houses and collect loans from bank. We know they love Amazonia. Loving Amazonia doesn't mean them staying with Dr. Sako. Loving Amazonia, if they love Amazonia, tell all those county chairs that are citing Dr. Sako to go and take loan from bank. Because as we activists are concerned, we the voice of the people, if anybody give 1 penny to those that county chairs, then they should call us stupid people. Yeah. Once there is no money, they are zero. Their work is money. You hear they will bring you project, but there's no action. Yeah. Once I'm very shocked of the chairman, the chairman Mbui and the others. But for the others, I know them. So we don't need to bother. The most important thing is money. Once the money start drying up from Dr. Sako, they will start making U-turn. But before they make that U-turn, we must have shifted them like Fukon. Anyone that make U-turn now, it like the change now, no one will become county chair again. No one. All of them who are there, if anyone make a U-turn even now, they have disgraced their constitution and the people of Amazonia. They're not different from the chiefs. The chiefs of Fako, the chiefs of Babalang, which is missing in the bush. They're not different. They have just showed us that they are there for their own interest and everything. So we don't need to worry about them. The most important thing is the money. Once the money is cut off, they remain empty chaffs. That's what I can say.
Now, Enrico, these so-called county chairs will be going to their so-called ASSC to constitute a so-called Sako's Restoration Council. What should the constituents do to delegitimize what they try to do, because that is illegal, isn't it?
Yeah, Secretary Chris is illegal, but for me, some of the county chairs are irrelevant because, like in Meme, we have two LGAs. Meme has three LGAs, two are for, and then one is against. So you can't tell if the county chair is coming for the one for Sako, and then the two Bonge and Kumba presently they are for the Restoration Council. The same in Momo County. We have only this con man also, Barrister Ghana, working with Irene Ngwa. What we did is that Mogamo LGA is only their first meeting because we want to give a vote of no confidence to Barrister Ghana and the gang of Irene Ngwa. And what we did is
But
we
you,
have
but you
sent
have
a
never recognized Ghana and Irene Ngwa as Mogamo leaders. Is it important? Is it necessary to give them a vote of no confidence unless you have every faction in Mogamo doing so?
No, Secretary Chris, before the election held in Mogamo LGA, Barrister Ghana was elected a leader, even because it was being controlled by Aringwa. But now we are giving a vote of no confidence to him, and we have changed the group logo. The Iya Marita, our president, the logo is there. So the first meeting, we have 114 members in Mogamo LGA.
When was
we
that?
know Irene, we did it yesterday, so the communique is going out there. The first
Yeah, I
meeting,
saw a communique that you put
Yes.
out yesterday. So
Yes,
you had how
yes.
many people there? Over 100?
Yes, this is 114 participants in Mogamo. You know, Mogamo is
Just
very big.
Mogamo alone. Just Mogamo
Yes,
alone.
just Momo County, just
Yes.
Mogamo LGA alone.
That's interesting.
And
Good.
Iringwa, they have their own small fraction, but this one was a main group that raised the fund of 2020. You remember the huge amount that was being raised 2020. This is a group.
So who is the chair there in Mogamo? The LGA chair.
The LGA chair is Barrister Ghana, but they have their own fraction. They don't communicate with us, so they have their own clique with Iringwa. So that's it. So now we are coming back with new LGAs in the weeks ahead. Mogamo LGA is coming back fully. So that's it. I think because we are fighting a war, we can say we should not contribute money. If the LGA chairs they don't want to respect the constitution, we don't have any option to create our own LGAs that would respect the constitution. We contribute our money, we sponsor our boys because we can't say people should stay, don't contribute. No, you create your own LGA that will respect the constitution and people will follow. That's it. And very soon the other camps they will be irrelevant. So very soon the Iringwa camps they will be irrelevant because all the Mugamos, you remember a communique was sent outside concerning Iringwa that we don't recognize Iringwa because Iringwa wrote a letter with Barrister Ghana to withdraw a member of the Restoration Council. Just Iringwa and Barrister Ghana wrote a letter withdrawing a member of the Restoration Council that the guy is against Dr. Sako. But remember, Iringwa and Barrister Ghana, they are not the people that own Mogamo. Mogamo had 22 villages. And in that 22 villages, we have representative. That's it. So we are just pleading with all the sons and daughters of Mogamo that our first general meeting will be held this weekend, and we see the way forward.
So are you looking forward to electing a new chair to replace Ghana, Barrister Ghana?
Yes, yes.
And that is coming up this weekend?
Yes.
Wonderful. I think that is what should be taking place. I hope that other counties and LGAs are listening to this. That is what should happen. Any county chair or LGA who is still sitting and dining with Sako should be replaced with immediate effect. Should be replaced with immediate effect. And I want to believe that the Restoration Council will refuse to give out a dime to any county chair and LGA chair out there who is still recognizing Sako as a legitimate leader, because by the Restoration Council owns rulings. Of course, Sako is impeached and removed. Anybody sitting with him is essentially legalizing an illegality. All right, but let me get back to Prince J. Khan. Prince J. Khan, let's talk a little bit about Fako. The chairman of Fako, Mola Edi, has for a long time, stood up against the illegalities that Sako has been perpetuating in Fako. I'm talking about the dissolving Fako County. Is Fako County about to reconstitute? And what are you people saying about money, draft money that was drafted for Fako during, I think that was in October. Mr. Nancho, I will ask you the same question, but Jeka, go first.
Secretary Chris, I think just like what Enrico said, is what has been put in plan as Plan B for, I proposed that in the last Amber Peace Plan. Yeah, and for Fako, we don't need to change our chairman because he has been a patriot from day one. We have a good chairman. And I think as one of the founding members of that county, which when we started, we still implement the same strategy to make sure we get Fako kicking off. So what we just need to do is, the bad seats in Fako are not even much. We don't have bad seats, apart from Ma Eli and Fombat and those who have been supporting Dr. Sako. So what we just need now, we will reconstitute back the Fako County as it was, bring everybody back, and we start contributing as we did. Remember, before they ever started with the war draft, Fako County was one of the county which almost raised £100,000. Yeah, if not for mismanagement, and by then they were saying everything was classified with format and everything, we should have had more equipment than any group. But you could see the sticks in the hands of the boys of Mountain Lions. We have been doing a good job, and I think the chairman is still working behind. There are so many secret things which I will not bring out here, which he briefed me on, which he's doing on the background. I want to applaud him for that. Mullah Edwin has been doing a very great job. And I want to tell everybody in Fako that we are going to come back. We are uniting ourselves back very soon. Very soon. I think the chairman too, just like what Enrico Acaba said, will be calling for a general meeting where we already have our Fako payment details. We'll start giving back our normal monthly contributions, and then start seeing on how to galvanize the boys and push the war forward. And to the restoration fighters on the ground, I'll still tell them their chairman is Mola Edi, yeah, and they have been there. They call him Pa Mola. I think that's just what we need to do. Come back as we used to be before, because there's so much division. Dr. Sako divided us into two, brought one group called a United whatever. I don't ever know that name. I've never even known the group. And then struggled to split the fighters. But I'm very happy the fighters have learned lessons that there is nothing like FAF in Fako. No. There have never been any group in Fako. Fako has been one. Yeah.
When FAF is still there, isn't it?
No, if you follow what the boys are saying on the ground, FAF is just Fombat's own dimension. Like, for example, you are from one quarter in Lebialem, you go and pick children from that quarter, and because they hear you like an elder brother from that quarter, you give a name. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, because I was wondering why Fombat boys who are loyal to him would pick up Gabonese, who is loyal to Sako, and lock him up if they were all working for the same Fako. How do you guys figure out the wisdom behind this? What happened in Fako with Gabonese picked up and locked up by the guys, both of whom are loyal to Sako?
Secretary Chris, you know, the guys had given a lot of complaints before about Gabonese. Yeah, by then when Anne Fombat were handling money, because I was the one giving order for money to be disbursed to Fombat. The guy which he was then Colonel Shaggy, which is now General Shaggy, gave a lot of complaints about Gabonese not handling finances very, very well. Those were one of the things which made me went into investigation, and I came back and I said they should take out Fombat and let Reverend Asson come in before Fombat instigated tribalism. That was the main thing, because most of the monies which were going down, when you call the boys down there, they say they don't receive. When you say, hey, money has been given for equipment, you hear stories upon stories. Yeah. So those were the one reasons for. And you see, Gabonese, I'd warned Gabonese before. I told Gabonese if he doesn't quit from politics, he will face serious action on the ground. And that's what you see Gabonese fell into the hands of his brothers. Because
So are you
he
trying
comes
to
out and speaks.
are you
Yeah.
trying to get us believe that Shaggy and the rest, they are no longer under Fombat's control?
Secretary Chris, those children down there, they are very wise. They can play along with you, but they know what they want. You see them down there, they are very smart. Yeah, they can play with you, but he who has the money, like I told you, decides how it's been shared. You see why they've arrested Gabonese is because Gabonese was playing along with Dr. Sako, and Dr. Sako was manipulating Gabonese for his own personal use. And sometimes, because of the communication problem we have in the diaspora, before they want to get relevant information down there, it takes a long time. Yeah, that's why you see. So if you want to see ground zero, it's just like when you're watching a Facebook show, live show. When we are live now, it takes 30 seconds for the people who are watching us to get what we are saying now. So that's just the same thing with ground zero. Yeah, what they do down there, they get their own information late and they react late. That's just it. So it goes the same with many places, many other counties. So what you see the children in Fako going through now is a sort of manipulation. Yeah, but I thank God that Sagat called Reverend Asson to apologize, and I was very happy for the way Reverend Asson spoke to Sagat. And
Well, that was recently.
No, I think it has been a while. Yeah.
Okay.
Before I think like about a month ago.
Okay.
Which they talk, and I believe now the fighters, he says he wants peace, and they have realized that we in the diaspora, we are not the ones dying, they are the ones dying. Whatever we are fighting here, we are fighting for their good. Yeah, we are young people, we are not old people. Only we, the youths, can tell them what is good. So if we come here and tell them that this is what they should do, and they think like we are wrong, they are the ones dying. So
all
I
right,
believe they have understood, and that's what they are doing with Gabonese.
Let's get to the last round of contribution before I open the phone lines. In the last round, we'll be focused on your immediate expectations from Iya Marienta, the president-elect, as they take over a 4-month transition. What do you guys, please in 1 minute each, what do you guys expect them to take up as a matter of priority if they were there to be just, let's assume that just for 1 month, what do you want to see them do? Let me start with Mr. Nancho, please.
Secretary Chris, I would have loved to say a word or two on the past questions you posted.
All right, go on quickly.
ASSC, and of course Fako. Let me assure the people of Amazonia that there is a great revival coming into the struggle. And this is beginning with Fako. I can assure you that all the ills and the negative things that have happened in the past are turning around for the good of the struggle, for the good of the people of Amazonia, because now we've been able to go through a process and to learn from that. So to the people of Fako, I can assure you that there is a great revival coming, and the defense system is going to be stronger than ever before. Talking about ASSC, Secretary Chris, I would define that acronym as Association of Sako's Scammers Corporation, ASSC, Association of Sako's Scammers Corporation. There is no need for us to worry about this. You see, this is a God-ordained struggle. One thing I will assure you is that it's going to be a big failure. Sako has been teasing the waters. That's why you're seeing him do things like trying to raise funds, trying to do this, trying to do that, because he still wants to test how relevant he is. And I'm enjoying the movie, I want to see how the conman will end. But this is the point, Amazonians. You have nothing to do with that nonsense. That's scam. You don't belong to the Association of Sako's Scammers Corporation. You don't belong to that business gang. So it would be a waste of time and money for you to even go and be sitting with that nincompoop in any area. I'm sorry to use that word, but that's the fact. The point is, Amazonians, and this is my expectation from our new leadership, that they should be able to bring a certain degree of stability to galvanize our strength. To there are such Chris. One thing you and I can agree on is that we have a lot of Amazonians who were fed up with the system of leadership of Sako, and who have great things that they can offer to this struggle, but they deserted the struggle because of all the things that were going wrong, and Sako will not address them. These are potentials that we've lost. These are great people, personalities, individuals, corporations that I would love to see this new leadership bring them back on board. We need every soldier for this battle. I would love to see this leadership mend the broken-hearted. There have been a lot of great patriots that have served the people of Amazonia, but because of stupidity and the brutality of a few criminals like Sako and his gang, look at what they are doing right now to Tango. They are trying to attack him and many others, attacking them, insulting them, raising fake stories against them. And some people will just desert the struggle because of this. I would like to see the Kuku that blinks. I would like to see the West. I want to see these people come back into the struggle. I want to see people that love Amazonia, be given a chance to serve the nation. So this is my expectation, at least, to see that this transitional leadership bring back the people that love to fight for Amazonia, to bring back the patriots, to mend the brokenhearted, to heal the wounds. A lot of people have been hurt, such a Chris, by Sarko's divisive policy. So I am hoping to see that during this transitional leadership, a lot of this is done, because this will prepare the grounds for that cooperation we talk about, for that togetherness we talk about, and to build a stronger momentum to fight La République du Cameroon. Thank you.
All right. Enrico, what would you expect the new leadership to do within this short period? I am not talking about a roadmap. I'm talking about practical things that Ambazonians want to see happen as a matter of urgency.
Yes, Secretary Chris, I think this is a moment of reconciliation with our various stakeholders in this revolution. We expect our president to calm down and uh, call the various stakeholders, and with the help of the ABC team, to bring every ambassador on board. And even there are some manipulators, hand clappers with the circles that are being manipulated. I just speak to the president. You can still use your phone. You call. There are some people who are regretting now. You still need them. We need everybody on board. That people who are regretting their action now. So we need every ambassador on board, all the various stakeholders, and with the help of the ABC TV team, we need prominent ambassador people to come on board on the ABC TV, live with the president, reconcile and everything. I think we move forward.
All right. I guess you meant to say ABS team.
ABS, sorry.
Yes. Prince J. Khan, what would you want to see happen immediately as a matter of urgency?
Well, as the voice of the ancestor to Michelle Obama, I call her Michelle Obama. I don't know. I gave her that name in Uppsala. I've aligned at some points which I think my ancestors have blessed me with wisdom to tell her. Number one, she has to make sure she unites everybody. Yeah, because Dr. Sako created so much division. She's a woman and she's a mother. She has to use her spirit of motherhood and go to the ground. She has to use that spirit of motherhood to be able to soften the hearts of every man that has been wounded. She has to make sure that all those that were expelled by Dr. Sako, beginning from the Naira 10 case, she should bring them back home and make them feel comfortable. She has to unite the Naira 10 in Kondungi. With Dr. Sako, he divided those in Kondengi. And Pata Sang and the brothers have not been united. He needs to unite them back. And for all those like the Milan Atem and the Milton Taka and everybody, the Gili Gili and all those were suspended due to the Naira 10, they have to bring them back under their counties and LGAs, all of them. That's a very difficult job for Marianta, but we activists will be here to help her and make sure we reconcile all those. And all those who have been hurt, maybe by the way we activists handle certain issues, they need to understand that it was a matter of time. And as time goes on, we act based on the situation we meet on the ground, just like what we are doing now in regards to Dr. Sako impeachment removal and our interim president Iya Marianta taking over. So I pray every heart of everyone should be softened as we come to go through this process, because the house has been really divided. If you come even to the counties and the LGAs, the country coordinators, every good thing that was set in place from the governing council to when Sisiko was president, everything La Republic, I could just say La Republic, Dr. Sako has breaking everything down. So we have a lot of job to do, even you, Secretary Chris, and everybody out there. It's a time, as Enrico Acaba said, for reconciliation. I think if we are strong enough, in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, we can do this. And then another thing is, we in the diaspora, Ground Zero 2 needs to unite. The restoration fighters need to come as one, which if a fighter wants to fight, if there's something happening in the BLM, the restoration fighters from Manu, Goketunja, there will not be no limit that somebody will want to live here is scared that, oh, this my brother will attack me and kill me. No. All the restoration fighters, I go talk and say for pidgin, they are the ones dying. Una be young people now, una they pay with una life. This one will be say yes, some man talk for diaspora. It's not like hearing somebody's word in diaspora. It's about you fighting and liberating your land. So I think that's just the two things I will really want: a period of unity, a period of we coming together. Once that is done, any other thing is guaranteed.
Okay, Prince J.K., let me tell you something that I differ with you a little bit when you talk about unity. We all really want that unity, but when it comes to fighting on the ground, I think it has to be unity with a lot of caution. Lots of caution. The idea that if you are fighting in Bui, you can just go and fight in Mezam, you can just go and fight in Batabo. No. Sounds like a good thing. It sounds good in the ears, but you don't just leave your LGA or your county and go and fight somewhere because you can go fight anywhere. There has to be some consultations, because definitely, what we have seen in some areas, you have somebody emerging and trying to get everybody to come under him. If that begins to happen, that is a lot of trouble. That's what we say in every county, because in each county you have like 3 or 4 or 5 different camps, and you have a fighter who has committed some crimes in one LGA running to the other one, and he just welcome in. No, something will be wrong about that. We preach unity. First, that unity should start within their LGAs, within their counties. And if you have to leave your county to go to another location, another county to fight, it should be with consultation with your home county. In that county, you are going to fight. That way, there is cohesion among the fighters. Does that make sense?
That's just what I was wanting to say. But you gave me 1 minute. I could not expatiate for 1 minute. You gave me 1 minute. You said I should round up for 1 minute. That was what I was about to elaborate on. Because you cannot just leave. Fighter cannot leave from here and go here to fight. No. But when they unite themselves, for example, in Goketunja, in Manu, all of them in that battalion, they have their battalion in their command. Yes, we respect them. But they should speak one language as what they are doing now. When you speak one language in Manu, you speak one language in Fako, one language in Lebialem. If there should be a case in, let me for take example in Lebialem, and Field Marshal says, "Oh, I need backup," you can. The people of maybe Kupe Maninguba will say, "Oh, we are coming, Field Marshal. Are you ready to receive us?" Ale, it's not like the case we see when people are fighting. They are calling.
Right. In that case, it is the commander in Kupe Manenguma who will say, "Fimasha, how many people do you need?" Not individual fighters in Kupe Manenguma. That is how you maintain some level of discipline. Among
You're
them.
right.
All right, let's keep that. Before we open the phone line, something happened at the weekend where you found Cho Ayaba sitting with members of the ARC movement and talking about unity and possibilities of working together. Now, you all know that the AGOFC has never considered the ARC as a legitimate body for mediation in this struggle until very, very recently. Many people are saying that, oh, they think that the IG is now gone, is now destroyed. Let them come together and portray some power and get Ambazonians. Tell me, all of you, in a minute each, what did you make of that meeting over the weekend? Prince Jeka, go on.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, what I would say is Ayaba and Akwanga knows their interests are all lost because they have heard what we have been preaching to the restoration fighters on the ground. As I, for one, have been encouraging them to unite. What we just spoke here now, that has been my job, which I've been doing with all of us here as activists, struggling to let them know that they are the young ones, they are the ones dying. There's nobody in diaspora that has ever died. And there is no liberation war that has ever been fought with people on the age of Ayaba. No. When Mandela went to defend South Africa, he was young. When Kwame Nkrumah went to defend Ghana, they were young. Ayaba and Akwanga almost passing 50. We need young people to stand and defend. So what they are doing now, you see running to act, they are all scared because they are seeing what is happening on the ground. So nobody should panic. And I've told the Restoration Council they should make laws before Ayaba and Akwanga come into this unity or into this IG or into anything we are. They should meet norms, rules and regulations which they have to work with. They should not come and start telling us what we need to do, but they need to come and listen to what we have to offer to them. That's what should happen. So we should not be scared about what they do. And Team Act. Team Act is just talking there without considering the majority of Southern Cameroonians. Yeah, and we have a new president. If Team Act think is Dr. Sako in charge, no, they should rethink. We are talking about unity here. And I don't think now we should even be moving about talking about Swiss. With the manifestation of what we have seen in Ukraine and in Russia, it shows us that Swiss it only favor those who have interest in La Republique. We need to talk about power. We need to talk about AK. We need to talk about logistics. We need to talk about equipment. People who can change the grounds and bring us RPGs and good things which can destroy from 10 kilometers. We don't need to be talking about Swiss. Swiss needs to look for us now. So other things they are doing there, Ayaba and Akwanga, they should get away. They should look for young people to replace them. They are getting old, just like Barrister Fru. They should look for young, vibrant youths. Youths are liberators. They should look the one Zelensky of Ukraine. He's a young man. Their time, they don't expire. They should expire. We are expiring, Dr. Sako. Them too should expire. Since we started growing, we are Ayaba. Since we started growing, we are Akwanga. Akwanga cannot groom a young man to take over. Ayaba cannot groom a young man. They should change those ideologies.
All right.
We have a young lady. Yeah.
Let's hear from Mr. Nanchop. What do you make of that meeting over the weekend between AGOFC and Team ARC?
I will keep it really short, Secretary Chris. I am personally very skeptical about such moves, in as much as I appreciate them. But I'm asking myself, why now? Secretary Chris, this is very tactical. Why now? Because one, we see that the IG, which is the father of all, is reconstructing, and Sako has been kicked out of power. So I'm asking myself, is it that Ayaba and Akwanga, because prior to this, we saw them had a meeting somewhere, and they were portraying some good images, which I appreciate, though. I really do appreciate. Now, but again, barely there a reconstruction within the IG where Sako is being kicked out disgracefully? Ayaba is coming to act. Akwanga is becoming revitalized, showing more interest in coming back active in act. I'm beginning to wonder, was it that the IG representative was an issue to them? Why now? I mean, the doors have been open for all this while, but why now? Or is it that they are beginning to yield to the call of the people for a kind of collaboration? Again, Secretary Chris, I don't want to be a pessimist. I really don't want to put the cart before the horse. But again, what I will say here is that I'm monitoring these moves. I personally am very skeptical when it comes to Ayaba because he's shown us a lot of bad faith, a lot. And it's just so difficult for Ayaba to convince me from today to tomorrow. I mean, he will need more than just coming to act and having a meeting with the people for me to believe in his good gesture for Amazonia. And again, on the other hand, we've seen Ala Ayaba in numerous occasions trying to collaborate with individuals. He did it with Ayotabe, he failed twice. He did it with his own best friend, Akwanga, and they failed twice. So I'm very skeptical, Secretary Chris. I mean, I have a lot of questions that until I get them answered, I wouldn't want to make a public comment on this.
All right, wonderful. I have had one call from Dr. Ayaba recently and followed by an audio message. And I know he is expecting me to reciprocate those calls and messages. And I look forward to one of these days to having a conversation with him and possibly bringing him on ABS to share with Amazonians his vision of working with other groups because for the past 5 years, he has been as straight as a pool. I mean, as straight as to not saying, forget about working together. So, but that will be coming up sometimes in the days ahead. Enrico, what did you think of that meeting over the weekend?
Yes, I appreciate the effort of Ayabacho. I cannot lie because those are some of the issues we have been fighting for the past 5 years: hate speech and blackmail. I think if they are trying now to come out to join Team Act, I think maybe Dr. Sako was the problem. And you remember Ayabacho once said Johnny just
No,
can't.
listen. I would not say Sako was the problem. I think Ayaba himself has said that unity will only work if Chris Anu is taken out or if Chris Anu gives a go-ahead for it, something like that. So I would not say Sako was a problem with Ayaba working with others. I would say Sako was a problem with unity with other groups because I think he was so much concerned with him losing power, losing control, and afraid that somebody else from other groups could take over. But go on, please.
Yes, Secretary Chris, you remember he has made a lot of statements, not just that. Remember, he once said Dr. Sako is Johnny just come. So to me, I appreciate that, but we knew that this interim government is the bigger body. They knew that. So and if Iya Marita is coming, I somebody said Dr. Sako has been taken out of the Team Act. So which means the Team Act they recognize the Restoration Council. They recognize the decision of the Restoration Council. That's why they have taken Dr. Sako out of the Team Act. I think when Iya Marita is coming in, is coming in now like a powerful body from the interim government. So and my problem here is if they are going in for collaboration, they should specify which type of collaboration with fighters on ground zero, what terms. So that's just my own opinion, but I appreciate it. That's why I said I support you to bring Yabacho on this platform.
And that will be such a case. Will be interesting to know if you are still a Gideon of Ayabacho. I'm looking forward to that show, though.
Take
No,
that
no,
again.
but
Take that
see,
again. I didn't get
please,
that.
No, but
Yes,
Secretary Chris,
I
let's
said
not take
No, no,
people's
let me
voice
hear what
for
Mr.
granted.
Namcho said.
no, I said you'll be interesting to Secretary Chris. Listen, it'll be a great thing having Ayabachu on ABS. And again, I'm looking forward to know from him if you are still his Gideon, because he said the worst
Of
things. I
course,
mean,
of
I
course.
really want to see some genuine repentance from these guys.
No, but
And again,
that's
I'm
Yes,
true.
yes.
It's
listening.
true.
Remember what Mark Barada also said,
It's good.
and you
Right.
have
And
noted them.
that came
Remember
back.
Mark Barretta said,
Yeah,
if you put me and Paul Biya and give him a gun,
yeah,
he
yeah.
would shoot Paul Biya before shooting me. Mr. JK, you wanted to say something?
No, I said what Enrico said is true. I myself, Ayabacho once called me, tried to talk to me, but Uchemba Nessin flamed up the thing, and I could not even talk to Ayabacho again because
What
the
did Ucheba Nelson do? He called you
hey, it
he
was
called you
terrible,
taking your own
Secretary
money,
Chris.
right?
Hey, Prince Jeka joined La Republic. He has collected his own. You don't see he's now talking with Ayabacho. It made me I did not even talk with Ayabacho again. Yeah, because
He
I,
scared
I, I
you.
did
He
not know
scared the
that.
hair out of you, I guess.
I'm telling you. I said, let me not go there and they start some conspiracy because Ayabacho called me. Ayabacho is from Victoria, and my uncle had once told me that Ayabacho's their house in Victoria, the plot was sold by my grandfather. So Ayabacho called me and was asking about me, and if I found out that he knew me and he knew my uncle. And when he wrote me at my job site, I said, I'll get back to you. So I called him and he saw my missed call, and Ayabacho called me. I really, because I've been saying I want to talk with him. Since this war started, I have just judged him based on his actions, but I've never had time to talk one-on-one with him. But since what Uchemba they did, I said, no, maybe this is not the right time, but I really want to talk with
Kai,
him because, yeah.
let me say this. I'm sorry I'm cutting you short, but let me say this, please. Listen, I think we shouldn't be naive to that level where we allow this blackmailing of individuals to stop us from doing the right thing. And this is where I will congratulate you, Secretary Chris. I really have to learn this from you, and I think we activists can learn this from Secretary Chris because if there is anyone in this struggle that has been vilified, falsely accused, insulted, you, Secretary Chris, you've been the worst, you've faced the worst attack from the most gullible people in this struggle. But I'm proud to hear from your own mouth that you entertain calls from Ayaba, from Mark Barata, and from the West. I think this is a good example to us and to everyone listening to us. Listen, Amazonians, we can only solve our problems if we learn to talk to each other. And we must shy away from this myopic feeling and thought that because of riffraffs like Ochiba Nelson, because of their poor way of thinking, that when we talk to the opponents, it means we are becoming compromised. Listen, this thing will end with us talking with La Republique, our worst enemy. So,
Yeah.
what about the enemies and the brothers in the house? We must learn to talk to them. That's why Secretary Chris, when
No,
he said I have a
not
call,
Chop. That wasn't even it. That wasn't even it because I did not even care about what Ucheba said. It's when Capo Daniel they released that audio of Ayabacho who said he talked to me. That's when I felt like, oh, maybe something fishy was coming up, and I did not want to. No, Uchemba side it wasn't even that. Even though yeah, I had some percentage of that they might use something out from maybe if I have to talk with him and tomorrow it has because one thing I've been scared about this revolution is my reputation. Since from day one, if you find out from all activists and everybody, I don't have a dirty reputation out there, being whatever. So I want to keep my reputation in regards to my people of Ambazonia to make sure that it's clean. So that was just the main thing. I just said maybe that wasn't the right time. Yeah. But in what Enrico said on Secretary Chris bringing Ayabacho, it's good because me myself, I've always wanted that I will have a one-on-one debate with him because him and Akwanga, they're getting old. Yeah, since when I was in high school, I've been hearing Akwanga till today, but they have never groomed no young man to take their place. So that's just what I wanted to add there. But as you said, me myself, I'm still skeptical because when this revolution started, I've been in AGC and I was in Sokadev, and I know the people who they are talking about. So I'm watching just their move. Me, I like action. I don't like words. I don't like grammar. Yeah, me, I don't like big book. I like people who act. So it's his action that I will watch. That's all I can say.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. one thing is clear. I think people need to grow up and realize that when you talk to somebody, that doesn't necessarily mean that you buy the viewpoint of that person. That is just what everybody out there should understand. And I promise, I will. Now you guys know, I have never admitted that Joe Acaba is actually fighting with us in this struggle against La République du Cameroon. But you know what? I will not fail to give him the chance to come here and have a discussion on those issues, like where are his soldiers fighting? Is he working with La République du Cameroon or working with us? If he is working with us, why has it been so hard for him to work with other, to work with this interim government in particular? So we will give him the opportunity to discuss those issues, and I think it is only there and then that people can make final judgments as to who he really is. And we will keep on doing that, not just with him, with any person, any leader in this team that is fighting for, they believe they're fighting for the independence of Amazonia. I have actually planned to bring together every frontline leader that I can think of. We'll bring them on the table here and get them share with Amazonians what they think, how they think we can work together. Let's hold it there, open the phone lines. Let's hear from Amazonians. Let's get to hear what Amazonians are thinking after listening to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I take you to the phone calls, but make sure that before you call, please shut down the volume of your TV set. Shut down the volume of your TV set before you call. The phones are ringing already. Let me get this one from ground zero. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, calling from ground one.
Calling from ground one. Okay. Thank you for the call. What is in your mind, sir?
Yeah, Secretary.
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Go on.
Yes, I would like that now that you have proposed or with Ayabacho to bring Ayabacho on air, we would like that. You people should bring Ayabacho and let him come and talk.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go on.
Yeah, so I would like that. Now that you people about peace and now that we have another new leader, Madam Iya, I would like that people bring all the Amazonians there in the diaspora, bring them together, bring them Tato, bring all of them. Let them come to your TV, ABS, and talk. Let them talk and air their mind so that we should be together. Because we here at the ground zero and ground one, we are together, but you people there, you people are not together. So we would like that now that you are proposed to bring Ayabacho the days ahead, we would like that the Ayabacho should come and talk with us. If he wanted to come back and be with us, let him come. Don't refuse anybody. We are from the Amazonian Republic. So we come, we share our views, we unite ourselves, and we take the goals to go ahead. We have another new leader because Dr. Sako was a scammer, a pastor from Limbe that opened a church and duped people and ran and went to America. So that was a duper, and people are still following him from one way to another. So I would like that you people over there, we should put our hands crossed, support the new leaders that are coming in, push them forward, give them the moral support,
All right.
financial support. No, that is my own point of view, Secretaries. And I want to thank Mr. Nancho. I want to thank Prince Jay and our other brother with the country close.
Enrico.
Thank you, people.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. We hear you. All right. So let's get to the next caller here. Hello, sir. Hello, I think this is bad network connection here. Let's get to the next caller. This is ground zero. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you turn down the volume of your television set, please?
Okay, let me do it so.
All right, where are you calling from, sir? I can hear you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Where precisely? Which county?
Fako County.
Okay, all right. And how was Ghost Town in Fako today?
It was effectively, sir.
Are you sure? Even Victoria?
I'm based in Boya, so I know Boya respect the ghost town. There's only around Tico that they do not respect the ghost town.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. What is in your mind?
Wanted just to ask. I've seen that Maraita, the lady people are suggesting, or you say we should vote for her. Is it only one person that you are supposed to vote for him or for her?
Yes, we're supposed to vote for one person, vote for the president, and the president picks his or her vice.
Okay. That is your own constitution, eh?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I was wondering, because I saw only one person as a president. I thought they could nominate 2 or 3 people.
No, that nomination and election has been made, and then what is left is for the president to now pick her vice.
Okay, thank you for that understanding.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get to, I don't know where is this. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello, sir. Good evening, afternoon. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Poland.
Poland.
Ukraine.
Oh, Poland. Are you by any means a refugee out of Ukraine?
Yes, sir.
All right. Listen, I will call you after. I really need to talk to you. I will call you after this show. But go ahead and make your contribution for the show, sir.
Yes, I want to applaud you and applaud your panelists that you have there with you, Prince Jaka, Mr. Nanchop, and Enrico Acaba. I will comment on a few things, sir. The first thing is I want to talk about the recent meeting with the agency coming into act. There is one thing that Amazonians have always been skeptical about Ayaba's move, because he always tried to act like an opportunist, which means what do I mean by being an opportunist? Like, man talk for pigeon. 2 people, then they fight, then you take Connie end of the house, steal their job. When you act that way, people will not trust you, because they have been calling him to join the Team Act. But now he goes and he has a meeting with Dr. Akanga, which means their only interest is to project themselves as the leaders of this revolution, and that is why they keep on. They did use that statement, "Johnny just come, JJC," because they think they are the best people in this revolution, and this will hinder people from believing you, because when you are called in, you don't come in, and you want to be an opportunist when there is a situation, that is when you want to step in. Nobody will trust you. Nobody will trust you.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Yes. Nobody will trust you. I also wish to encourage, I know, I wish to say one thing to my brother, Prince Jaka. He has proposed some good policies for the next leadership of this revolution, which means because Sako has been able to siphon our money, because we didn't put in documentation, we didn't give him the procedures on how to prosecute this revolution. So Prince Jaka, you say a lot of things on your Merciful Truth, but please try to implement them, because the things you say on Merciful Truth, people follow them. and try to implement them. When you go into meetings with the Restoration Council, give your proposals, because your proposals are very magnificent. They are very great, excellent ideas. Anyone, like our new president, Iria Maranta, has to be presented a document and for her to sign, and so any AGA chair, whosoever wants to take a position in this, our revolution, has to be presented with a document. If whether you're doing it voluntary or involuntary, you have, or you are receiving pay, you must sign a document so we can hold you accountable. We
All right.
want this to repeat itself again.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. I will give you a call. I need to find out some information about Ukraine. Thank you for the call.
Okay, sir.
All right, let's get to the next caller here. This is Ground Zero. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Bamenda. From Bamenda.
Okay, wonderful. How was Ghost Town today in Bamenda?
Yeah, completely effective as usual. But in the evening, we had about 1 hour of gunshots not long ago. For the Asuri Ghost Town, it was very effective.
1 hour of gunshots in the evening. Where? Which part of Bamenda?
Yes, around Tarinkon, going towards Tarinkon, Mankon. Yeah.
Okay.
Around that area. Yes.
I guess you haven't found you have no idea as of now what was going on, right?
Yeah, no details about that. Maybe tomorrow we'll be able to find out exactly what happened.
All right.
Yes. Okay, that said, once more, it's a pleasure. We appreciate what you are doing, Secretary Chris. When I see you, I don't know how you managed to bring those 3 guys there, but those 3 guys represent those 3 guys, Mr. Nanchop, Jeka, and Enrico. Yeah, those 2. Guys, my greetings to you guys. You guys are doing a wonderful job for Amazonia, especially the use of Amazonia. And you connected to Secretary makes the team complete. So you guys should keep up, master. You guys should keep up in your incorruptibility. Congratulations and thank you very much. I want to say that you guys President Jeka made a point to the effect that those people overseas are bringing a lot of confusion. Yeah. So the other day I was discussing with some fighters and some very enthusiastic Amazonians, and we came to the conclusion that fighters should disconnect from everybody that they are connected to abroad, because of recent, some fighters have been victims of manipulations from people overseas because of this crisis, because of this situation caused by Dr. Sako. So it is realistic for the fighters to disconnect with anybody that's, except fighters like those of Grandpa Bali. Yeah, the Bali community is doing a very good job with the fighters, but other fighters should be very, very careful, because there are guys up there, guys overseas, surrogates of Sako, who are victimizing fighters and causing them, some of them, to be killed, victimized, like what happened in Bafut a few days ago. It is terrible in Bafut. Fighters, I met fighters who are running away and going to Kribi. You cannot believe it, to be there in disguise because of a situation like that. So until everything is arranged within the framework of the new leadership, this fighter should be careful. You guys should tell them.
All right.
And then, yes, I want to our dear President Ian Marenta. It is my wish that she will do what she has to do quickly, is to gain the trust, the confidence of the fighters in Ground Zero, and that will be a very practical thing to do, to supply them with arms, motivation, and that will be the duty of you guys overseas, to give her the money to do it.
All right, thank you for the call. Remain safe out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to Ground Zero here. Oh, I lost that caller. Okay. Let's get this caller here. Hello. 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 Well, that caller is not there. Let's see who is next. Okay. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, Mac.
Yes, Mr. Chris.
Good to hear from you, sir.
Good to hear. Good to hear. How are you?
Doing excellent. You are live on ABS. I guess you wanted to contribute.
I'm live on ABS. I sent you an information. I wanted you to go through it. Maybe probably you can just bank on that. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Have you seen what I sent?
Okay, I will look for it.
Okay, all right. In any case, let me just say this. I've been following what my brothers Prince have said. Enrico Acaba, my brother from Belgium, and Nanchop, whom I've never spoken to, but whom has over the years has bashed me. You know, I just want to say, everyone in the revolution has fallen short of the glory of God. We must work together.
Like when you said, "Beer, you get a gun, you will shoot me first," right?
Of course, like I said, that was a figure of speech. No, even Nanchop who sits there owe me an apology. You know, I hope he's getting me. My father died and I was bereaved. All I was hearing was Mark Barretta killed his father. Mark Barretta is on a court. Come on. That was crossing the line. In any case, let me move ahead. So I was saying that we need to, relax, reach out to all those that we have truly hurt, apologize, then build something. We should take an example from what is happening in Ukraine today. We see how the communities are mobilizing. Everyone is mobilizing. When we began in 2016, that was what happened. So we must able to have a reflection to ask ourselves what went wrong, where did we puncture this thing. So we must go back to community mobilization. And I want to pray all those who are hearing me, when we speak back with any of our fighters on ground zero, we must make them to understand that our community is our first line of defense. We must work with our community, because without our communities, our fighters cannot be safe. Ground zero, I used to hear Jeka usually say, diaspora has not funded Ground Zero the way Ground Zero has funded it itself. There is a lot of money on Ground Zero, unless our forces become really structured, not really united, but coordination in which there is coordination, then our people are going to see that spirit again. I think there's a lot we can see in the future, and I hope that your President Marianta doesn't chicken out like Dr. Dick. Let's see what the future holds. Thank you, Sir Chris.
Thank you, Mike. You have a great day out there. Let me see if Nanchop has anything to add to what you just said. Thank you, sir. I will look for what you have sent to me. Is this something you want me to take public or what?
Yes. It's important.
All right, I will look. Okay, all right. I'll look out for that. Thanks.
All right.
Mr. Nancho.
Such Chris, let me say this. You see, um, first of all, I appreciate the fact that I think that was Mark Barata, and I appreciate the fact that he's
Yes.
calling and he called. And let me say this: this is work in progress. There is a lot that needs to be done, and there is a lot of conversation that needs to take place at the background. And again, I am one of those that I'm very skeptical again about a lot of things. I appreciate the fact that Mark is making some positive steps, and I'm very open to that. You know, I've been contacted by some activists. I don't actually like to talk about my private conversations. I've been contacted by some people personally, and we've had some discussions. But again, I appreciate the fact that Mark is calling, and I think as the Lord permits, as time goes on, there will be the opportunity for us to talk. Yeah, but let me yield for now, and that goes on again. I said earlier before that we we must, as Amazonians, be able to talk with our brothers and sisters, even those we perceive as internal enemies, because at the end of the day, we can only end this thing by talking with La Republic, our common enemy, right? There must be that face-to-face sitting. There must be that expression. There must be that mutual ground built between us for us to be able to agree on some certain things, and of course our departure. So if we cannot talk with our brothers and sisters in the house that we perceive as enemies and to settle out our differences, I think we are wasting our time. So again, I know someone is expecting something else from me, but listen, this is work in progress, right? And we are not naive to just assume things on social media, because right now this is a matter about life and death. We're talking about the lives of so many people, for which every action we take out there, we carry a certain responsibility to that. There have been a lot of irresponsibility in the past that have led to the death of so many people. And that is something that you can't just tell me, I will just close my eyes over it and behave as though everything has been okay. I'm not God. I also know we all, the highest that God demands from all of us is genuine repentance. That's why I was saying a moment ago, I'm very skeptical about the moves of Ayaba, but I appreciate them until I am convinced. And believe me, I think I'm the last person in Amazonia that is easily convinced. But once you can convince me, you gain my trust. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let's get back to these calls here. Hello. Oh, this is not connecting, I guess, bad call there. Gentlemen, let me bring to your attention some poster that is circulating out there coming from somewhere. Sako, I guess he is watching the broadcast, and his surrogates have just put out this flyer, this poster. And this is what the poster says. If you can read that. The poster says, the National Treasury of Amazonia is a complex organization functioning as non-for-profit corporation. It is not a political group regulated by politicians. Those who sit in social media fora and dream to take hold of our treasury can be compared to La République du Cameroon Parliament planning to take over American Airlines. Those are daydreamers. Now again, that is coming from they impeach and remove Samuel Sako, the Idi Amin, whose face you find on your screen. Again, this guy is just trying at all costs to remain relevant in this struggle, and talking about the National Treasury when he has no business with Amazonia's National Treasury. If he says people cannot take over the National Treasury, can he take over ABC? Is ABC also not a non-profit organization for Amazonians? So, let me say this before we get back to the calls. Fellow Amazonians, again, you will see this flyer making the rounds. You will see this poster making the rounds out there. Samuel Ikome Sako is trying to do everything to portray to Ambazonians that he still remains relevant. He is still the leader. He is not your leader. He is the leader of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin ring members. And they are all united, ladies and gentlemen, because of profit. They are united by profit. That is exactly what they are. If they are not united by profit, business profit, let them show us what they have done with all of your money for the past 2 years and counting. All right, let's get back to the phones. Okay.
Can I chip in something?
Yes, go on, please. Go on, Mr. Nanchop. The caller, can you hold, please?
So, Chris, interestingly, I've been loving.
Yes.
Let me say this to Amazonians. Amazonians, this again exposes the conmanship of Sako and his mafioso system. You listen, I had a conversation today with some members of the National Treasury. I'm not going to detailedly expose the content of our discussion. But Sir Chris, reading what I am seeing in front of me and having known that I had this conversation today with members of the National Treasury, it's a shame to see that Sako does not even know where to end his manipulations. You know, madness is exposed when manipulation meets stupidity. And this is what we see in front of us. Listen, Amazonians, our money is safe, and the National Treasury has put Sako down. Yesterday, Sunday, Sako was attempting to manipulate the national treasurers who kicked him out of the meeting, disgracefully changed their agenda because of Sako. And ever since, you saw Nelson Ochiba and Irene Ngwa came up like roaring lions against these individuals. And that it's not a surprise that Sako is coming out because he knows he's been disgraced yesterday. And his surrogates came out and disgraced him the more because their utterances are out there. Now he's coming out to play the game of a gentleman. Like, I mean, come on. Sako made an attempt yesterday to attack our national treasury, and you'll be shocked to know that, Amazonians, this is the information I got today from some national treasury members, that Sako has made all trances that he will kill their family members if they don't give him the chance and access to the money. This is Sako who is treating the life.
His surrogates are out there asking for photos of members of the National Treasury. Ochiba actually has an audio demanding the photo of Tango.
Can I come in? If those audios are there with Uchemba voice, please send it to us. We can report
play that tomorrow.
If
you guys have it, don't waste time.
Okay. All right.
If you have that, and please let me drop a point. Let me drop a point there. Amazonians, we are not stupid and we are not foolish.
All right.
If in a person way, he knows saying that president is appointed, he will be loyal to the president. Now they will go appoint person. We don't know. When I reach a town, when a woman on a man on a black man on a man for Haiti on a man for South, who fed no eat. Now we don't carry no money to go jam for them.
All right. We leave it there. Let's move on. We'll talk about that on another occasion. Let's get back to our calls. Let's give Ground Zero the opportunity to share. We'll have just about 6 minutes to go. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ground 1.
Okay. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV and focus on the phone?
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Okay. I am very happy with the progress which the various fractions or the various movements are coming towards a particular set of goal, unity. Because as what from time immemorial, we're told that together we stand, divided we fall. But in terms of the misappropriation of funds and so on, I cannot say President or the former President, Dr. Samuel Sako, is bad. I should say his cabal, all those around him, are the ones responsible for him being bad. Because if they had corrected him when they first of all noticed from the one swindling to the next.
No, I think your postulation is wrong when you attribute it to those around him not doing so. When I was around him and did so, did he change? So I think he should take the responsibility, not just those who are around him, isn't it?
No, Secretary, you brought this thing forward. You said the CDC deal, you introduced it to him, so you are not exempted from that.
No, you don't understand what I'm referring to. You say Sako should not be blamed for all the problems, but those who are surrounding him. And
yes,
I make the point. Hold on, listen. Hold on. And I make the point that it is not just the cabal around him. The cabal may be part of it, but when some of us were around him and tried to advise him on what to do and how to do it, he did not listen, right? So I'm saying that it is not a cabal that should take the responsibility. I think he should take the responsibility. He was the leader.
Yeah, he was he is still a leader.
No. He is not the leader. He was the leader. You are making an error. This is not ABC. This is ABS.
I know. This is your channel.
Okay, and do you realize that the Restoration Council impeached and removed him?
Yes.
Also, so why do you still think that he is a leader? You don't respect our institutions?
I believe every fraction counts.
Okay.
If you say I don't respect you don't value the other fraction that is.
I think you are watching the wrong show, so you may think that you are watching ABC. Have a great day. Let's get to the next callers here. Ground Zero. Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you turn down the volume of your TV, please?
Yeah, it's down. Sorry, Secretary Chris.
Okay. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Toko, from Kumba.
Wonderful. What is your contribution?
Okay, well, I first want to remind the last caller that actually this is not ABC like you said, and it seems like he's getting confused anyway. Sako have been impeached, and a great message is out there. Everybody have to know this. Sako is no more a leader or a president of Ambazonia. He's been impeached, he's been redundant, and he don't have any place anymore in Ambazonia. And if you are out there still calling him president, that means you are going against the constitutions of Ambazonians. So
Correct.
if you are out there thinking you're a leader, you're fooling yourself, and stop. I call on all Ambazonia to tell their families, to remind them that Sako have kidnapped and hijacked the television channel of Ambazonians. Until we get it back, let nobody waste their time to watch that channel anymore. Now, the point I want to make to you, Secretary Chris, what I wanted to say about the whole, the entire thing is, this is a private channel. It's a channel, like the past speaker was saying, I think the one before this. I think with the great opportunity that you've created with this your channel, you can at least bring different opinions from Ambazonians, from different groups. It doesn't matter whoever wants to come up, as far as they want to express themselves in a positive way. You don't really have to be affiliated with them. Like you brought all these guys together. I think it will be a very good idea, and they will come out with a very good projection for entire Ambazonia. So some people don't feel left out. However, it remains your property because it's a channel. But I'm just trying to say, usually you bring people from other African countries voice their ideas when we were still at ABC, which was really, very interesting. So you can as well do it with Ambazonians like Ayabatro and all this other, just to get their views and let Ambazonians know who they are, what they are up to. It doesn't cost you anything. So that's one of my advice. And every Ambazonia, please, don't pay your money anymore to Sako. Sako don't have anything to do with this revolution anymore. This is a message out there for everyone. If you're giving your money, we saw a PayPal account going around everywhere. PayPal from Irene Ngwa, individual sending money to receive money for a whole government. He sent his private account, PayPal account, to receive money for the government. That's really a scam. If you're giving your money there, you know you don't pay your money. It's a scam. It's a private individual called Irene Ngwa. You see the name there, PayPal. And again, Sako is in big problem, my brothers and sisters. He's scammed Ambazonia, and he have also been scammed by a Bitcoin platform. That platform you see there, they call that usually call it pyramid scam. He collect Ambazonia's money, he put it there, thinking they'll pay him some money, bring more people. They have blocked the money. You see how wicked he is. His wickedness has led him now to lose everything he had, and as Ambazonia lost, he have also lost. So actually, this is just an advice for Ambazonians. Please, let's focus, bring the government together, build this government, and put our hands to our new leader to lead us in the appropriate way as we manage to fix all the wrong that have been done. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. That's great. Okay, unfortunately, we can't take any more calls, ladies and gentlemen. We will call it there for the night, but let me go back to my team here and give them 50 seconds each to run up. Now, before I get to my team to give them 50 seconds, I'd like all of you to watch this. This is happening in Ukraine. I'd like you to take a look and tell me what would happen. What would happen if this was happening in Ambazonia with a lot of public do Cameroon soldier with this little girl, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look.
What to do? What to do? Lama, what to do? What to do? What to do? Lama, what to do?
Enrico, what would you think?
I saw the little girl very courageous, but I think
the sound.
What to do?
The sound.
Yes, Enrico, what do you think would be happening if this little girl was this courageous against a French Cameroon army?
Secretary Chris, I saw the little girl she was very courageous. You saw what happened in Boya, the little girl that was being shot by La Republique. I thought if we were in Ambazonian, we by now people should be crying because we know how barbaric the military in La Republique operate. So I think those are the professional militaries we saw demonstrating in Ukraine.
And that is a Russian army.
Yeah.
All right. Prince J.K., give us your take on that.
Well, I lack words to say about that. I lack words. That's really bravery. I really lack words to say. You see, if you're watching Ambazonia, maybe a bullet would have been ringing on the head of that child. Yeah. This to tell you how civilized, no matter how the military they are fighting, how civilized they are in their brains, and how La Republique terrorist soldiers, how idiotic they are in their mentality. They can see. Yeah. They can really see from here. So that's really, that child is really...
Okay, all right. I'm told that this is in Israel. Actually, not in Ukraine, but in Israel. Wonderful, but
okay.
There are two things we see there, the courage of that little girl but also the discipline of the army guy who would not, I mean, in Africa, in La Republic of Cameroon, that guy would be shooting or kicking that little girl to death. Mr. Nancho, please.
Such a case, we've seen instances or we've had cases where children have been killed in Amazonia. And countless. Today I talked about it on my show. I was mourning Abu today again, where we saw our beautiful sons and daughters brutally killed. Now, this again is an ally, it's an enemy of the people. Now, you see this girl approaching this army or this soldier, sorry, she's expressing her anger against a military soldier. But in as much as this man hates that country and is there to invade, perhaps, he will not harm a child. To show you the magnitude of hatred La Republic has for us or against us, to express to you the magnitude of hatred these people have against us. We've had instances where baby Tato was killed going to school. The other baby in Boya was killed. We have had children being killed in schools. We've had, this is to show you, look at Gabo. They literally went, shot our children, killed them, burned them, expressing a magnitude of hatred against us Amazonians. And if you look at this, and you look at what is happening back home, this gives you even more reason to fight them back, to support this struggle, to want to supply Ground Zero with every means to protect themselves.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. It was a great pleasure to have all of you joining me tonight. I look forward to having you back in the days ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you, Enrico. Yes, Mr. Nacho, want to say something?
Please give me a second. Give me a minute to point out something here that is very important.
Okay.
Before I forget. We talked about it a little bit, but this is it. Now, Secretary Chris, we've been talking about the collection of money in private accounts. We've been talking about an interim government. This is what I want to call to the attention of the Amazonian people. One of the interviews we had from the dismissed and disgraced President Sako, which he came up a few days ago or weeks ago on ABC TV, was saying that he is empowering the institutions of Amazonia. And one of the reasons he gave the Amazonian people that he will not step into the problem you brought up at the cabinet then, Secretary Chris, was that he wants the institutions to take their charge and work. Now, Amazonians, let's call on these institutions. We have the Ethics Committee. That is a committee, it's an institution that works to bring in ethical correction in the struggle. We have the OIC, the Intergovernmental Oversight Committee. In this case, where you see Irene Ngwa collecting money into her private accounts, whereas the institutions that are collecting this, where they're collecting this money for, have their accounts. Is that something ethical in a struggle like ours, amidst all these financial allegations? So we are looking forward to see that the Ethics Committee act towards this. If not, they are just a bunch of liars and criminals that are all partaking in this corruption. I'm looking forward to see or hear something from the Intergovernmental Oversight Committee, because these are institutions that we have in Amazonia that should be paying allegiance to the flag, to the nation, that should be doing their job, as Sako claims that he wants to see them do their job. In this case, Amazonians, let's put our eyes on them and see that they do something with respect to what Irene Ngwa just did, because this is a no-go in Amazonia. So I want us to have our eyes open, because this is the game plan of Sako, and they will come at the end of the day to deceive us that they have institutions that are working under the leadership of Sako. But we now see why Secretary Chris was right, that these are dead. Everything was just a shame, a manipulation from a manipulative strategies from Sako. So these are things for us to hold them accountable. An ethics committee cannot sit there and see somebody grossly destroying the ethic of Amazonia, trespassing every boundary to act irresponsibly. So I, Nanchop, and the people of Amazonia, let's open our eyes towards this. I just wanted to make that mention. I'll be elaborating on that tomorrow on my show, though. Thank you, Secretary Chris.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Nanchop, for joining the show today. We look forward to seeing you back one of these days. Fellow Amazonians, that is all that we have for you tonight. But I'd like you to know on Wednesday, we're going to be having a very, very special broadcast on what is going on in Ukraine. We're going to look at the African perspective of it and also the Amazonian perspective of what is going on in Ukraine. We're going to be having some special international guests coming in to join me here at ABS for that show. In the meantime, before I go, please log on to absafricatv.com to support ABS so that we can continue, ladies and gentlemen, to bring this to you on a weekly or daily basis. Actually, we're going to be having some adding some programming here in the days ahead. So we want to continue to pay the bills here, but we can only pay the bills with support from people like you who are watching. So please, you can support ABS by logging on to the website and looking for the donation button, and hitting on that and making either a monthly subscription or a one-time donation to ABS. The address is right there on your screen, and you can contact us also with the email address that you find on your screen, info@absafricatv.com, info@absafricatv.com. Meanwhile, the website is absafricatv.com. You get to the website, you will actually be served with news from across the globe. I mean pure international news, Africa and the world at large. You want to read about what is happening in the Ukraine, you read it. You have elaborate news on our website on what is going on in Ukraine. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to being back here, ladies and gentlemen, in the days ahead. So please stay tuned. Again, I will be back, ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday. Until then, I remain your anchor man, Chris Anu. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
children now. Daddy, gather your children now and sing. No matter what's around you, just sing. No matter what's going on, just sing. For the Lord is hearing you, just sing. Sing to the Lord, the maker of heaven and the earth. Oh, through the valley, through the storm, through the highest of mountains, weather the seasons of abundance. Lift your voices and sing, sing, sing. Where there's been a desert land, let it rain with your song. Oh, sing. Oh, to a God, sing. Demanu nenyo, tenare bene webe umbuesu. Sing, sing to the Lord, the maker of the heavens and the earth. For he is Yahweh, and he is good, and his mercy endures. He is good, and his mercy endures. He is good, and his mercy endures. He is good, and his mercy endures forever. Hey, he is good, and his mercy endures. He is good, and his mercy endures. He is good, and his mercy endures forever. The storm may try to overtake you, but remember that there is oil in the land, and that oil is filled with the word of the Lord, and it's filled with the songs from your grandmothers and grandfathers. So do not forget the testimony, do not forget his memories, do not forget his mercy. If he's brought you out before, he will bring you out again. That he who began a good work in you is surely able to complete it, and he is turning it all around, around, around for your good. What the enemy meant for evil, God meant it for good. Oh, what the enemy meant for evil, God meant it for good. Hey, what the enemy meant for evil, God meant it for good. So sing, 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 sing. Gather the children now and say, he is good and his mercy endures. He is good and his mercy, hey, he is good and his mercy endures forever. Hey, hey, hey. He is good and his mercy endures. He is good and his mercy endures. He is good and his mercy endures forever. You are good and his mercy. Hey! You are good and his mercy endures. You are good and his mercy endures forever. Yeah. Sing, 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 sing. Just keep on singing. He hears and he moves at the sound of your voice. Bless the Lord. Oh, your soul, bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. Tena rebene